Reborn in the apocalypse, I begin by plundering all the city's resources. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. 301. The base is full of gods and beasts. Morgan's meaning was heard by everyone. It means that in the meeting discussion, do not mention the name of the Lord, let alone express dissatisfaction with the Lord. After all, no one knows whether the Holy Master can hear the content of their meeting. Some things should not be said. Everyone was silent for a moment, and someone broke the silence. Everyone, according to the characteristics of Pandora virus, it has evolved indiscriminately, and we have been excluded. Then, our advantage is still the brain domain chip. What I'm most worried about at the moment is that Yizishan can trace back to our base through the signal from the brain chip, so I was thinking, what method did Yizishan use to track us down? It was Bergshuk who spoke. His doubts were also shared by the 6 major families of the Zile people. One Finger Mountain can track signals from brain chips. This is basically a consensus. But the question is, how to track it? If only the biochemical soldier's cerebral cortex is implanted with a brain chip, it can be tracked. This is horrible. Did it have to play at all? But there is another possibility. It may require biochemical warriors to enter the detection range of Yizishan before they can be tracked. Bergshuk continued, so we have to test it for 500 years. Is Yizishan's anti-tracking capability really indistinguishable detection in the world? You still have to enter the designated area before you can detect it. One more thing, assuming that you need to enter the detection range of Yizishan, you can be tracked back. If we store the instructions in the Bio-Warrior's brain chip, we will cut off the connection with the Bio-Warrior 35 under these conditions. Can it still be tracked? Yes. You can use the brain chip to connect with the signal of the base for anti-tracking. So, can you still track me after I cut off contact? 2 doubts. As long as these 2 doubts are resolved, a targeted layout can be carried out, at least to protect the safety of the Sheila people. Not to be in a situation where there is no resistance all the time. Morgan sighed and said, Mr. Berg's proposal points the way for us. These 2 points are temporarily included in the next steps. The most important thing at the moment is to determine whether Yizishan really has anti-tracking capabilities. After all, Yizishan's tracking ability is just a guess by the Zile people. Although there is a 90% chance. But not, BHCD, absolute. Our Corp C operation, as well as the war pythons lurking in the Cheyenne waters, involved a total of 25 bases. These bases are all in the eastern country. If Yizishan really has anti-tracking capabilities, then they will definitely take action when the Battle of the Dead Sea is over. As long as these bases are attacked, it means that Yizishan has indeed traced these bases through the biochemical warrior's brain chip. At that time, we will proceed to the next step according to Mr. Berg's proposal. Let's break up. After the meeting, Morgan sat in the office chair in the conference room and did not leave in a hurry. He realized one thing. If Yizishan really has the ability to track, the next plan is to send 2 cannon fodder to test it. He has to plan well. You must not send your family's base to act as cannon fodder. Morgan took a long sigh, and even regretted launching the apocalypse. He's been underground too long. Really wished to walk on the ground to see the real sunrise and sunset. Damn it, he knew that all this was the will of the Lord, but he couldn't blame the Lord, and could only put this regret in his heart. Hope so. Destroy the infidels as soon as possible, and then you can live on the ground. 3 days passed in a flash. The Red Queen reported to Xiao Yu who, the master, the Sea of Corpses from Nushan 108, has entered the province of Shu 35. It is expected to enter a small basin in an hour. It's great for kills here. Xiao Yu called up the surveillance screen and saw a dense number of zombies walking towards the basin under the leadership of the Corpse King. The Sea of Corpses at the 108 turn of Nushan Mountain was prepared by the Zile people to block the entry into the Z area plateau. Now the Corpse King has been controlled. And follow the instructions to enter a small basin in Shu province. Bai Kai and Nigun led the Knights of the Air crew, and on the hillside near the basin, they had already transformed into mecha warriors and waited in addition. There are also 30 magic-modified howitzer launch vehicles outside the basin, which have been aimed at the battlefield. As long as the Corpse Sea enters the basin will be blasted to scum. Kainan, pay attention, the Sea of Corpses is about to enter the battlefield where you are, and it is extremely necessary to destroy them all. But the Corpse King cannot die. After eliminating the sea of corpses, let the Corpse King continue to return to the Z area plateau to lead the zombies, and then come to this basin to die. This is Xiao Yu's cleanup plan. Let the Corpse King lead the zombies again and again, and come to the predetermined place to die. It is much more convenient than sending soldiers out to kill zombies. After reminding Bai Kai and Newton, Xiao Yu flew down the mountain with a light effort. At this time, the scene of the base area was very different. The two giant tigers at the gate of the city, like two large trucks, were wearing cold armor, lying in front of the gate without anger and prestige. Biochemical tigers, acting as gatekeepers. Immediately, the grade of the base area was greatly improved in the hearts of everyone, especially those who defected later. It is estimated that when I saw this scene, my jaw dropped. There are also two other divine beasts on the top of the mountain as guardians of the manor. Moreover, these tigers, after being rebuilt in wisdom, have fully possessed the same wisdom as human beings, although they cannot speak human words. But completely understandable. In addition to the tigers, there were 200 wolves in armor in the base area. Each one is bigger than the magic-modified chariot. Mobility is high. Usually, the wolves rest on the Three Fingers Mountain, leaving only half of the city wall. In addition, there are biochemical wild boars and biochemical wild cattle, all of which are equipped with armors that can withstand machine gun fire. The entire base is full of beasts of war. In particular, the wild cattle, which are as large as 2,000, are also the largest and most powerful. There are often giant eagles hovering in the air. The giant eagle troops controlled by Guo Xiao, as many as 2,700, flew out together, forming a spectacular scene that covered the sky and the sun. But everyone knows it. Guo Xiao was able to control so many giant eagles because the leader gave her a magical power. The survivors watched as the base area was filled with mythical beasts. Xiao Yu is the reincarnation of an immortal, and this identity is accepted by more people, even a stone hammer. Xiao Yu didn't explain either. It doesn't stop these people from believing in themselves, and they don't know everything in front of them. After all, the last days need faith. But he is not allowed to set up a church in his base area, even if he makes himself a god of faith, he is not allowed. The future of human civilization opens. What is needed is technology. Taking the line of magicians will only hinder the rise of civilization. 3 days passed in a flash. The Battle of the Dead Sea in Province S and the fishing city is coming to an end. 302. A plan to bring the Zile people into one pot. Xiao Yu called up the surveillance video to check it out. On the Dianwu city side, the 3,000-step battle regiment led by Tang Qingsu and the 1,700 independent regiment led by Zhang Shibai were still fighting as usual. But everyone looked very relaxed. After 3 days of fighting, the 2x shooting talent has been brought to the extreme, and every fighter can be said to be a sharpshooter. When hitting a moving target, at a distance of 300 or 400 meters, 2 or 3 shots from the 4x lens can kill you with headshots. At this time, the entire cremation pit was full of zombie corpses. The vast majority were blown to pieces by howitzers, and some were left with whole bodies, killed by the shock waves of the shells. Only very few were killed by headshots. After all, the main killer on the battlefield is the magic howitzer. It didn't take long for the scattered zombies in the burning corpse to be cleaned up. At this time, the shadow of the corpse tide appeared on the top of the mountain. Waves of corpses from the top of the mountain in all directions continue to rush down. All have, the ceasefire rests, and the second round of fighters enters a state of combat readiness. The infantry regiment, and the independent regiment, take turns to fight, so as to ensure enough time to rest. If you fight continuously for 3 days and 3 nights, no one can stand it. After all, it is impossible for Xiao Yu to give everyone milk status. Zhang Shibai came to the woods behind the battlefield, lay on the shady grass, and lit a cigarette, feeling very happy. This smoke was a welfare issued by the Yizishan Logistics Department when he was in the base area. One Finger Mountain is really nice. Zhang Shibai touched his beloved blue carbine like he was touching his beloved woman. This came out after he killed the zombies. In his storage warehouse, he has accumulated 10,000 rounds of 5.56 bullets. This kind of upstart feels very good. I remember when I was in Chipping Mountain. Every bullet has to be used in a planned way. It's different now. As long as the zombies are killed, the guns and ammunition will explode, and even more than 30 grenades will explode. The pistols and submachine guns on his waist are also of green quality. Zhang Shibei pressed down the communication headset. Hey, Lao Liu, how are you now? 39. I just fired a blue carbine. Ha. I have more than 10,000 bullets now, and I can't finish it no matter how much I hit. When Zhang Shibei was chattering, Tang Kingsu was checking the surveillance screen, but there were not many corpses left in Xiao Yu City. From the panoramic monitoring screen, it is expected to be cleaned up tomorrow afternoon. Province S is similar. And in these 3 days of battle, no one was injured, although invisible monsters often appeared near the battlefield. But they were all discovered in advance by patrolling magic helicopters. Then he was shot and killed before he even got close to the battlefield. The 30mm chain gun of the helicopter can easily penetrate the hardest frontal armor of the tank after being modified by the level 6 magic. Killing fighters is a no-brainer. And there is an intelligent system to assist shooting. Basically the gun hits a finger on the mountain. Xiao Yu sat under the wisteria pergola in the manor, drinking tea and thinking. After the raid, I have always had an idea. 99 Master, can you tell me something? Xiao Yu smiled. Now that I have brought it up, I must discuss it with you. According to the information we have, the Shirai have 34 sub-bases in the east, currently destroyed 1, controlled 1. In addition, I have mastered the basic information of 25 sub-bases, and I will only wait for the end of the Battle of the Dead Sea to capture these bases. 5 looks like the results are brilliant. But looking at the world, the bases of the Zile people are close to 600. When will we be able to destroy them? So I was thinking, do you want to knock out the extra satellites in the sky, so that the Shire people will be blind and unable to communicate with each other? Even the AI at the base goes dormant. 99. All automated equipment becomes a decoration. 35. The base of the Shire people will be paralyzed within a year, and they have to get out of the base to the surface. At that time we can wipe them all out. In fact, the Zile people's base can continuously produce various materials, except for the raw materials hoarded before the end of the world. Intelligence plays an important role. In particular, indoor greenhouse vegetable cultivation relies entirely on temperature regulation and watering. If they lose intelligent equipment, they will soon face the danger of vegetable shortages. The Red Queen asked, Master, what are you going to use to shoot down these satellites? 35 missiles, of course 35, so we're running out of missiles right now. 35. In fact, Xiao Yu once pinned his hopes on the magic fighter. As long as the magic modified fighter is strong enough, it can fly out of the atmosphere and shoot down all the extra satellites in space. But the level 6 magic change is still a little short, 4 flowers. In theory, a modified fighter with a metal hydrogen engine can fly non-stop in the air for a year with a full tank of fuel. But the fighter wants to fly out of the atmosphere. More than just battery life is needed. First of all, it must be understood that the fighter jets are driven by the tail engine, which provides the thrust to send the fighter jets into the sky. Then rely on the lift of the air to fly visually. But the further up you go, the thinner the air, and the less push it can provide. This is also the reason why fighter planes have a limit height. The air is so thin that it cannot travel the driving force. Even if the fighter has more fuel, it will not help. Even the magic fighter, its flight mode is still the thrust provided by the tail engine. There is another reason. The launch of a fighter aircraft relies on the thrust generated by the combustion of fuel. The higher the altitude, the thinner the oxygen will be. When it reaches the extreme altitude, it will not be able to burn due to lack of oxygen. 00. Eventually the fighter jets shut down. The magic modified fighter still has not gotten rid of its dependence on fuel, unless it continues to upgrade the magic modified machine tool. Then upgrade the fighter to a pure electric engine. Of course, there is another possibility. Like a spacecraft, the rocket has its own oxygen inside, and even if it flies out of the atmosphere, it can generate a strong thrust through combustion. But the fighter is too small. It is obviously impractical to have its own oxygen to support combustion. Even if all the above conditions are met, there is still the most important step to be solved for the magic modified fighter to fly out of space. That is speed. Blue Star's gravitational force is very strong. To get rid of gravity, the speed of the fighter must exceed the first cosmic speed. That is 7.9 kilometers per second. At present, the speed of the fourth generation of magic modified fighters is only 6.1 kilometers per second. So Xiao Yu gave up the plan to use fighter jets to hit satellites and could only use more expensive missiles to complete the mission. Queen of Red, what I want to know now is, if you continue to upgrade, Is it possible to conduct a worldwide counter-tracking of the Sheila's satellite signals and find their bases? 99 As long as the Red Queen can be around the world, capture the satellite signals of the Shilai people and track them to their bases. Then, eradicating the Shire would be a piece of cake. Owner, I can't predict features that haven't been upgraded yet. 35 But my advice is, don't rush to destroy those satellites in space. 59 Those satellites mean a lot to us, again. 303 The pattern of world domination. The world looks for heavy weapons. Unexpectedly, the Red Queen also felt that those satellites were very useful. In fact, Xiao Yu never decided to lay down the satellite. Also aware of their role, I don't know if the Red Queen and her own thoughts are the same. Queen of the Red, you are talking about those satellites that are not under our control. Why are they so meaningful? 5 Okay, Master. Actually, from the time we established a base, the materials needed, the most important experience ball and my host, level 1 experience orbs and hosts are easy to get. 35 From level 2 hosts, powerful monsters are needed to explode. It would have been very difficult to obtain. 99 However, the Zilay people have provided us with a steady stream of boss. 5 From the original chip monster to the current stealth monster, a large number of high-quality props have been released for us. 35 Not limited to level 2 experience orbs and my host. Zio 500 You nodded, believing that Queen Huang's statement was accepted. Without the chip monsters made by the Zilay people, it would be impossible to have so many team members who could raise their skills to level 6 in a short period of time. The rest of the team is coming soon. This Corpse Sea battle is about to end. More than 80 million zombies have been eliminated, and there are still 80,000 ship monsters. Not counting the underwater giant water snakes, as well as giant war beasts, giant eagles and super corpse kings. There are also 60,000 other invisible monsters. The level 2 experience orb that exploded was unimaginable. After the battle is over, let all team members upgrade their skills to level 6. As for the level 3 experience orbs required for more advanced levels, did not explode. It's a pity that Xiao Yu arrived at this point. After all, he had hoped that he would be able to generate level 3 experience orbs. The results backfired. Besides, whether it is the Sea of Corpses or the invisible monsters, a lot of gold has exploded. Gold is an important metal for magic modification of various types of vehicles, planes, and ships. Without gold, everything is negotiable. Therefore, it has always been the people of Zilay who have given themselves treasures. You keep talking. Yes, Master. The Red Queen continued, if we knock out the satellites we don't control, it means knocking out the Shilai satellites. 995 At that time, the various bases of the Shilai people will lose the ability to communicate with each other. This is not conducive to their sharing of information, materials, and scientific research. Actually, if we think about it carefully, the Zilay people have been pushed into a very dangerous situation by us, and we just need to continue to be strong, high profile. 35 The Zilay people will keep developing more powerful monsters. These monsters may provide us with level 3 experience orbs and a host. Good. The Red Queen thought of something to herself. Xiao Yu also had the same idea. Let the Zilay people maintain communication, and Yizishan exerted external pressure. They will continue to develop powerful monsters. Just apply enough pressure. The Zilay people will definitely share research and development materials, and strive to develop more powerful monsters to deal with Yizishan. As such, it has achieved the purpose of sending treasure to Yizishan. But this is also Xiao Yu's own guess. What he is worried about is whether there will be variables in the future. After all, playing with fire may also lead to self-immolation. Retaining the Zilay people is always a hidden danger. Master, but there is one thing I want to remind you, if you keep the satellites of the Zilay people, let them continue to communicate and share research and development data with each other. Once a powerful monster is really developed, it may lead to greater danger for survivors around the world. 99 Xiao Yu frowned and thought for a while. Indeed, the more powerful monsters are born, the more serious the danger facing the whole world. But the world is already like that. No matter how bad it was, it couldn't be any worse. If you want to completely solve the hidden danger and end the apocalypse, you must let Yizishan develop rapidly. So there are some sacrifices that are inevitable. Besides, Xiao Yu just wanted to make Yizishan solid, and how many survivors it could contain was entirely up to their luck. It is safe to live here. If you can't reach Yizi Mountain alive, you can only admit that you are unlucky. However, Xiao Yu also realized that the world is so big that the people of Dongfeng Kingdom have a chance to arrive alive. People from other countries can't. Today Xiao Yu's vision has also become more long-term, since the rebirth has given him the system. He didn't just want to be a mountain king. Being able to become the ruler of the world is naturally the best. Red Queen. You are all over the world, pick some natural dangers that are good for defense, wait until the country stabilizes. We will build bases in other countries' natural dangers to accommodate survivors. 99. The Red Queen naturally understood what Xiao Yu meant. It looks like the master wants to rule the world. Also, don't worry about the Sheila people for now, put more mainframe running memory on the search for military bases. Search worldwide. Especially the military bases of Sam's empire, all over the world before the end of the world. Find them all for me. 39. I need those warplanes, tanks, armored vehicles, warships. 35. Since we are going to start deploying the world, it is necessary to collect more combat units, even if the Zile people did not develop powerful monsters in the end. There are so many zombies in the world. It is also necessary to modify these weapons to clean up the zombies. So it's settled. For the time being, the satellites in space that are not controlled by Yizishan will not be destroyed, so that the Zile people can continue to communicate with each other. Dujiang River, Wangjiang Mountain. Li Xinli and 5 girls stood on the top of the mountain and looked out. The sea of corpses has disappeared. In the past few days, artillery has been fired in the direction of Yizishan, which should be fighting the sea of corpses. 35. I don't know who will win. Another girl said, I think Yizishan should defeat the sea of corpses. That man is so powerful that he can turn into a dragon and even command those giant water snakes in the waters of the Dujiang River. He is a godlike man. 99. There is absolutely no way he could fail. Li Xinli is also weighing the pros and cons from the surface. The possibility of Yizishan defeating the sea of corpses is actually very small. Although she also thinks that man is very powerful. But the sea of corpses that stretched all over the mountains and could not be seen at a glance was indescribable in number. How many people are there in Yizishan? 10,000? 20,000? 2.3? Up to the sky, 50,000 people, facing a sea of tens of millions of zombies, and they are still under unified command. How can it be eliminated? Even with the assistance of aircraft artillery. But zombies are not people, they must be hit in the head to die. Therefore, it is almost impossible to destroy tens of millions of zombies. But Li Xinli was still not reconciled. In her heart, Yizishan is a pure land for survivors and a holy place to live. If this place is destroyed by a sea of corpses, she really doesn't know where to go. Sisters, the sea of corpses can no longer be seen. It is possible to be wiped out by Yizishan. It is also possible to enter the Great Plains of the ancient capital and surround Yizishan. Make a decision. Should we continue to Yizishan, or find another natural insurance camp? I wish everyone a happy Kexi festival. A lover will finally get married, and the single Wang will get rid of the single soon. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 304, the beauty goes down the mountain, the bad news comes. 6 girls, you look at me, I look at you. There was no immediate decision. Because if they choose to go to Yizi Mountain, if they are surrounded by the sea of corpses, they may also be trapped in the sea of corpses. But don't go to Yizishan. You will feel unhappy again. Xinli, how about you? What do you think? 35. Although there is no leader in this temporary camp, everyone will stop at Li Xinli's suggestion if anything happens. After all, she was the first to ask to leave. Then he led the crowd to Wangjiang Mountain, escaped the sea of corpses, and his position in the hearts of the crowd was barely a leader. Li Xinli hesitated for a moment and said, I decided to go to Yizishan to see, otherwise I would not be reconciled. Even if I go to Yizishan, I may be trapped in a sea of corpses, but there is a holy place in my heart. If Yizishan is destroyed, I can't think of any place where the survivors can live. Li Xinli's eyes were firm. The 5 women looked at her together. Although no one spoke, the meaning was clearly conveyed. They have to follow. Li Xinli nodded. Let's go, pack your bags, and leave immediately. In fact, there is no luggage. 17. A set of clothes is worn for 10 days and a half months. Except when looking for supplies, suitable clothes can be found in some houses before they can be changed clean. The luggage that Li Xinli said. Just the food you need every day. Don't carry too much, The backpack is too heavy, it's not good for us. In fact, there is a lot of food that can be collected at the foot of the mountain. After the sea of corpses crossed the border, there was not a single zombie to be found in the entire mountain area, and a large number of houses could be swept away. Most of the packaged food before the end of the world has not expired. So there is absolutely no need to bring too much food. Li Xinli had a backpack on her back, a dagger pinned to her waist, and a homemade spear in her hand. The tip of the hair is also a dagger. Wrapped with rope and tape, it is still strong, at least killing zombies is not a problem. But people who have survived in the last days for so long, it's impossible not to think about it. Li Xinli put another sharp utility knife in the back pocket of her jeans. The utility knife is easy to carry. It is more convenient to use, the blade will stick out when you rub your fingers. Li Xinli's utility knife was the best one I found in a hardware store. Imported from Volcano. The quality is very good, the sharpness and toughness are extremely high. This kind of knife is not used to deal with zombies. It's a critical moment to deal with the thugs. Let's go. A group of 6 people walked down the mountain. Wangjiang Mountain was rugged, and they lived on the top of the mountain. They didn't walk down the mountain until noon. I happened to see a group of people carrying supplies in the houses on both sides of the road. It's them. Li Xinli took a closer look, and it turned out that it was from Brother Kui's camp. Brother Kui is also the camp where Li Xinli, and these women, used to be. It is estimated that he saw the sea of corpses leaving, so he sent people down the mountain to collect supplies. This group of people also saw Li Xinli and the others, so they walked over quickly, and both sides looked at each other cautiously. In the apocalypse, it is impossible to greet the survivors as casually as before the apocalypse. Because what you are facing may be thugs who will strike at the first word of disagreement. Hey, where did you come from? A middle-aged man with long hair and a stubborn beard asked. Apparently he's the captain of the team. This image is indeed very sloppy, but most people who are surviving in the last days will not care about the image. Li Xinli thought it was funny. These people didn't even recognize themselves. Not surprising. When they were with these people, they were all smeared with zombie blood, and they didn't wash it off until they left. And these people in front of them were washed away when they were on the mountain. Therefore, Li Xinli's group recognized each other, but the other party did not recognize them. We're from out of town. Everyone is surviving in the apocalypse, the well water does not run into the river, please make way. Li Xinli clenched her spear tightly and said coldly. She did not choose to recognize each other, and the 5 women around her, like Li Xinli, decided not to recognize each other. Because at this moment, they have already washed away the zombie blood on their faces. Show your original appearance. Although before the end of the world, it may not be a goddess, but it is definitely a beauty. At the beginning, he left the camp early because he was afraid that his appearance would be exposed and he would be persecuted by the men in the Kuija camp. If you choose to recognize each other, the other party is likely to make unreasonable demands, or even bring disaster. Human nature has one thing in common. The more familiar people are, the easier it is to start. For unfamiliar people, they remain vigilant and do not dare to make rash moves. Li Xinli and 5 girls, holding machetes and spears. He stared at each other coldly. Although they were few and their weapons were not as good as each other, the people on the opposite side not only had homemade spears and machetes, but also made vine shields out of kudzu. Without thermal weapons, these people hold tang shields, and the formation formed is difficult for ordinary survivor organizations to break through despite this. The 5 girls with Li Xinli did not show weakness in their orc life till now. Even if she used to be a charming girl, she was sharpened by the ruthlessness of the apocalypse. Relax. The middle-aged man with long hair on the opposite side gestured to Li Xinli and her group not to be nervous. Rest assured, we are not thugs 35 taking advantage of the crowd. The middle-aged man put away his machete carelessly, lit a cigarette, and said with a relaxed expression, you girls, it is also very dangerous to wander outside 99 just in time for our camp. We are going to build a base on the mountain behind 500. A lot of supplies have been hoarded now. Why don't you join our base? Our leaders are very good, and girls are safe in the base. If it were a normal person, maybe a little bit more. Li Xinli and the others left from the previous camp. At that time, the men in the camp started to move. I'm afraid it's already ripped apart by now. Several girls knew that, with their looks, returning to Kuiji's camp would have unimaginable consequences. Especially Li Xinli. With such a beautiful appearance, She did not dare to go to other bases, except for the well-ordered base where there were many women like Yizishan. Excuse me, we're going to Yizishan. We met people from Yizishan before, and they invited us. If it wasn't for the sea of corpses passing through the border these days, we might have been at the base of Yizishan by now. Li Xinli reported Yizishan directly. He even lied about being invited. I hope to use the reputation of Yizishan to deter the opponent from acting rashly. In fact, it is not a lie. When Xiao Yu subdued the war pythons in Dujiang, he did say that he would let Li Xinli and the others go to Yizi Mountain after the Sea of Corpses was eliminated. Unexpectedly, the middle-aged man laughed and said, "One Finger Mountain, stop dreaming, One Finger Mountain has been destroyed." 305. The more beautiful the woman, the more dangerous. The 6 girls were shocked when they heard that Yizishan had been destroyed. Impossible. How could Yizishan be destroyed? Listen, there are gunshots over there, it means that Yizishan is still fighting the Sea of Corpses. How could it be destroyed? Li Xinli couldn't believe it, especially that man who could fly and transform into dragon was so powerful, and with him guarding Yizishan, it was absolutely impossible to be destroyed. The middle-aged man smiled disdainfully and said, "Girl, I know it's hard for you to accept. Actually, it's hard for me to accept it, because we originally planned to go to Yizishan, but we have to accept reality." 55. Yes, there is still the sound of gunfire over Yizishan, but have you noticed it? It's just scattered gunfire now, which is completely different from a few days ago. 99. Explain what? Explain what? Li Xinli thought about it carefully and quickly came up with the answer. Or it's out of ammo. After all, the shelling continued for 3 days and 3 nights. Although the bombing was not very intensive, it should have been impossible for so many shells to last for so many days. There is another possibility. Yizishan couldn't resist and was running away. And these scattered artillery sounds are the blocking of the troops after the break. Certainly. There is one last possibility. That is, Yizishan defeated the Sea of Corpses, and now it is the final stage, so the sound of the cannon has become very scattered. But she just thought of this possibility. He was woken up by a middle-aged man with a basin of cold water. At the latest, tonight, Yizishan will be completely destroyed, and then you will no longer hear the sound of cannons. Have you thought about it? The zombies that can't see the edge, the mountains and the plains, can't be resisted by human power at all. Even before the end of the world, when the military system was perfect, the entire ancient capital military region was dispatched, but it could not be eliminated. And what about Yizishan? 39. Li Xinli and the 5 girls were like eggplants beaten by frost, and at that moment it seemed that their faith had been lost. Yes. How could human beings resist such a large sea of corpses? So many zombies. If you surround Yizishan, even if you use a pile of corpses, you can still pass over the city wall. It can even be piled up to the top of Yizishan. Maybe the flying man, and the 2 women, have escaped. Li Xinli believes it. Even if all the people in Yizishan died, those 3 people would not die. The question now is whether to go to Yizishan or not. Li Xinli only thought for a second. Make a decision now. I'm sorry, even if Yizishan is destroyed by the Sea of Corpses, I'll take a look. 35. She thought of what the man who had turned into dragon said that day: when the corpse tide is eliminated, you can come back to the mountain. What a confident tone. Li Xinli was still holding a trace of death. Although the other 5 girls hesitated for a few more seconds, they also expressed their desire to go to Yizishan with Li Xinli. Although they are not as firm as Li Xinli's beliefs. But he is more reluctant to follow the long-haired middle-aged man and return to the newly established base. Who knows if any of them have turned into thugs? The middle-aged man snorted coldly, threw away his cigarette butt and said, "It seems that you are not eating toast, and you are drinking fine. Good words and good words invite you, but don't give face. Since that's the case, brothers, give it to me, catch these women alive, and then we'll have fun first, and then bring it back to see Brother Kui for the reward." Ha 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 ha. More than a dozen men suddenly laughed. At this moment, his hidden true colors were finally revealed. Any invitation to go up the mountain was bullshit. The purpose was to trick these women into going up the mountain. Since not fooled, then come hard. 12 men, armed with shields, spears, and machetes, quickly surrounded Li Xinli's group. "Lay down your weapon. Otherwise, I will kill you first and then strengthen." 35. The middle-aged man changed his gentleness, with a ferocious expression on his face. Li Xinli clenched her spear. Looking at the people who surrounded them, they all held huge shields with spears sticking out from the shields. Plus a large number of opponents. They have no chance to escape at all, and if they fight recklessly, the result will be even worse. All will die. What should we do? We can't beat them. Make up your mind. 35. Although everyone has been struggling to survive in the last days for so long, their psychological quality is far superior to the past. But faced with a life or death decision, no one can remain calm. Including Li Xinli. She had to make a decision now, or she might die. Everyone calm down. There are 6 of us, and 12 of them. If their numbers are cut in half, we still have hope. Speaking of which, Li Xinli deliberately paused, and the 5 girls made eye contact, and immediately understood what they meant. But the long-haired man didn't understand. Even funny. It's so naive. You wish we had half the number of people, but unfortunately, we are half more than you. Stop talking nonsense. 35. Drop your weapons now. In your hand, on your waist, put it all down, even your backpack. Li Xinli glanced at a few sisters. Everyone knew what she meant. Put it down, we admit it. Li Xinli was the first to put down the spear in her hand, then unfastened the dagger from her waist, and then took off her backpack. Spread your hands. Indicates that he has no weapons. At the same time, the 5 girls also put down their weapons and looked like they were being slaughtered. Ha, that's fine. The long-haired middle-aged man had a satisfied smile on his face, but his eyes still looked at Li Xinli and the others with vigilance. In the end times, a careless may lose a small life. The absence of weapons does not mean that there is no danger. Long-haired men have seen people who killed thugs with their mouths. He hated thugs back then. It's just that things are unpredictable, and now I have become a thug. Not to mention, it's really cool to be a thug. Watch them closely. Go alone and find some rope in the back house. Although these women have no weapons. But for Li's safety, it's better to tie your hands. After all, you'll have to be happy first soon. The younger brother took out a stick of nylon rope from the house on the side of the kilometer. You women, turn your back, keep your hands behind your back. Li Xinli motioned everyone to calm down and follow the instructions of the long-haired man. After the 6 people turned their backs, the long-haired man asked 6 younger brothers to go over with nylon ropes to tie the people, and the remaining 6 were armed with spears to guard. Li Xinli still did not resist. The 5 girls were also silent. However, at this time, they turned their backs to the thugs and were making eye contact quietly. Soon, the thugs tied Li Xinli and the others with their hands behind their backs, and now they can be completely relieved. Ha, brothers, the most beautiful one, I'll come first, okay? At this time, Li Xinli and the 5 girls turned around together. 306, 6 women who kill without blinking an eye, all of them are stubborn. Just as the girls turned around, the thugs were immediately alerted. But soon they were relieved. The hands of the 6 girls were all tied, but tied with a backhand. Even if you give them a chance, can't hurt anyone either. The long-haired middle-aged man said impatiently, why are you turning around from me? And those who don't obey will be stabbed to death. Anyway, it's already torn. Nor does it need to be gentle. Long-haired men know women very well, and the more gentle they are, the more trouble they have. Li Xinli smiled faintly. Let's just turn around. 99, but you're going to be out of luck soon, don't you want to know? The long-haired man froze for a moment. Bad luck? I tied up 6 beauties, among them, this one was a super beauties. Immediately you can enjoy the bliss. I am the captain of the squad. The most beautiful thing is to enjoy it for me. What's the bad luck? Good. You tell me, what am I going to do? Do not believe in evil. A group of women, tied behind their backs, can turn the world upside down. Li Xinli remained calm and said, have you ever wondered, if you 500 did something to us, go back to the mountain, and we tell your chief what he would think? The long-haired man suddenly stopped talking. Yes. If these women tell Kui about this, I will definitely be in big trouble. Don't say anything else. When I get a good product, I don't take it back immediately, but enjoy it privately. This kind of behavior is equivalent to not taking Brother Kui seriously. Long-haired man believes, if you obediently send these women back, Brother Kui will definitely let him enjoy it together. But this superb beauty who speaks will definitely be occupied by Kui Jack and enjoy the 5 blessings of her own. Not reconciled. I have never played with such a beautiful woman in my life. Now that I finally got it, how can I give it away? The long-haired man suddenly lit up. Brothers, today we will indulge once, Play casually, and kill these women after the end. When you go back, don't reveal the slightest bit of information." The voice fell, and all the dozens of thugs showed fierce eyes. In fact, they thought so too. Brother Kui also believes that as long as everyone participates, everyone is a grasshopper on the same boat, and I believe that no one will leak the news. Hear what the long-haired man said. Li Xinglei was also a little caught off guard. These thugs were too cruel. She felt that she still underestimated the evil of human nature in the last days. The day you became a thug. It is equivalent to opening Pandora's box. The evil leading thought of human nature, step by step, will only make people more evil. That being the case, then I feel no more guilt. At this time, Li Xinlei's eyes showed a meaningful smile. In the eyes of the thugs, her smile was extremely charming. "Maid, I can't stand it. Brothers, I will come first, and you will come later. Tear them off immediately." After the long-haired man gave the order, the 6 thugs in the front were ready to tear their clothes at this time. Behind Li Xinlei, a length of nylon rope suddenly fell. Before the thugs standing in front of her could react, Li Xinlei's hand suddenly lost comfort. I saw her right hand waved. A cold light flashed across. It was so fast that it was unreal, and even more unpredictable. The thug in front of him suddenly froze in place, and a slightly white trace on his neck gradually turned red. Then it became more and more red. Finally, with a puff, the blood that lost the comfort of his body suddenly sprayed out. Warm blood sprayed Li Xinlei's face. She didn't have time to be afraid or nauseated, and her first reaction was to grab the spear and tang shield from the opponent's hand. Just when Li Xinlei started, the other 5 girls also shot, the same one-handed wave, followed by the thug in front of him, and the neck was slit by a sharp blade very deep. The arteries and blood vessels were continuously cut, and even the trachea and throat were cut. Puff puff. The sound of blood gushing out one after another, like the blood mist from a fountain, BHCD, dyed the girls' faces red. They seemed to be ready. The moment he cut off the thugs' necks, he snatched the weapons from the thugs' hands. At this moment, the long-haired man and the rest of the thugs were still in a state of confusion. What happened? Aren't those girls tied back? How did they break free from their shackles without a sound? And how long has it been? In less than 20 seconds. Kill them. The long-haired man was the first to react. No matter how the other party broke free from the bondage, the most important thing now is to kill these women. They are beautiful. But if you kill someone without blinking an eye, you will be killed if you take action. When a group of long-haired men are preparing to start, the 5 girls with Li Xinlei have also finished capturing the weapons and posing an offensive stance. The 2 sides were less than 5 meters apart. But no one dared to make a move first, and they all stared at each other vigilantly. Li Xinlei roared in a deep voice, "Now that we have the same number on both sides, I don't believe you can kill us all without damage. Sisters, listen up, move your hands in a while and kill this long-haired man first." Yes, 99 at this moment, all the women are working together, and they must show the courage and aura of death, in order to shock each other. The long-haired man looked at the woman in front of him. One by one, with blood all over their faces, staring at themselves fiercely. He couldn't help but feel the urge to pee. Maid. They're all ruthless people, especially the most beautiful one, who came to the bottom of the pot. Just one move. Lao Tzu will be besieged by them. Although the long-haired man knew, the other party said this kind of words, which meant a threat to a certain extent. But what if? Just now, he saw with his own eyes that the 6 women killed 6 companions in the blink of an eye. It seemed that they didn't seem to be joking to scare me. At this time, the long-haired man noticed that there was a utility knife at the feet of the women. At this time, the sharp blade had been stained red by the sprayed blood. 7. The long-haired man suddenly realized that these women had weapons in their hands and waists. There are also weapons in the trouser pockets. When they turned their backs to the crowd just now, they should have cut off the rope with a utility knife and then killed their own people. Depend on. If I had known, I should have searched my pockets. Eat a pat and get smarter. After all, no one thought that there were weapons in the butt pocket. Long weapons can't be put in. Even if the short weapon can be put in, it won't be put in the butt pocket, so it won't pierce the meat. But utility knives are different. It is scalable. To fight, to leave, to give a word. If we don't fight, we'll each step back. You have already killed 6 people. I guess. You don't want to continue to kill people, do you? Li Xinlei continued to put pressure on her words. They are indeed the weaker party. But being weak doesn't mean you have no strength to fight back. 307, No Way Out. Hope in the hearts of the girls. The long-haired man looked at the 6 girls in front of him. At this time, they all showed fierce eyes, staring at them with blood on their faces. The kind of eyes that can eat people. Just like animals, when faced with a choice of life and death, they burst out decisively. The long-haired man realized that the other party was not joking. If they are in a hurry, they will definitely fight with their lives, and the 6 corpses lying on the ground are the best witnesses. Okay 99 listen to you, we each step back, the well water will not make the river water. After speaking, the long-haired man waved his hand. The thugs understood and stared at the girl in front of them while slowly retreating. Li Xinli also breathed a sigh of relief. Although they are determined to fight to the death, it is best to survive without fighting hard. Let's go too. Li Xinli led the people and slowly retreated on the road. Neither party turned around. Even though the distance between them was 30 or 40 meters, they still remained vigilant, looked at each other, and slowly retreated until 100 meters away. Only then did the 6 girls turn around and trot along the road towards Yizhishan. Even so, they were not completely relieved. The person who walks at the end will turn back from time to time to see if the other party has caught up. Brother Longhair, what should we do? 6 people died. I can't explain to Brother Kui when I go back. Yet, and it's too embarrassing, it was put together by 6 women, and they left unscathed. Don't give Louds a chance. If I catch them again, I will definitely play this group of idiots to death. 39 The long-haired man stared pitifully in the direction Li Xinli left. Gradually, his expression became more severe. Mad, the person who killed Louds just wanted to leave like this, and there is no door, follow me. Hang behind them all the time. These women don't have a car. If they walk, they won't be able to reach Yizhishan before dark. At night, the old men have a way to clean them up. 99 The 6 thugs suddenly lit up. Good idea, we are hunters, they are prey. If they turn back, we will retreat. If they run, we will chase. What tactic is this called? 99 Guerrilla war. The enemy retreats, I advance. The enemy is stationed, I disturb. The enemy is tired, I fight. The enemy advances, I retreat. Anyway, it's just hanging on, until they are exhausted. Find the right time, and take it down with one blow. A group of thugs quickly chased after him. The long-haired man rushed to the front. He's been mad all the time. From the end of the world to the present, apart from the fact that the zombies let themselves be eaten and shriveled, when have they fallen into the hands of women? I can't swallow this bad breath. Especially in these last days, when there is no law, civilization collapses. I can't believe who can protect these women. As the thugs quickly caught up, the girl who ran in front also found it. Sister Xingli, they are catching up. 35 However, keeping a distance from us, what should we do? Li Xinli looked back. Sure enough, I saw 6 thugs, and they were aggressive, but they didn't look like they were trying to catch up. Strange. Let's stop and take a look. The 6 girls stopped together, and the thugs also stopped, and even smoked a cigarette, very relaxed and not nervous at all. But the 6 girls realized that something is wrong. Oops. Looks like they were going to follow us all the time. Once it gets dark, it's not good for us. Although they acted bravely and even decisively just now, women are still not as good as men. Even if everyone evolves after the end of the world. Men's physical fitness is also much stronger than women's. What should we do? If we don't have a car, we won't be able to get to Yizhishan before dark, and that's when it's dangerous. While I still have energy, find a corner and ambush these thugs. Yes, ambush them. There are only 6 people on the other side, and if we kill 2 or 3 first, we can gain the upper hand. Li Xinli pondered for a while. Ambush is a good idea in theory. But the other party was very close. The distance between them is only 50 meters. Once they pass the corner, the other party should also be careful. The road is so wide. With all the cold weapons in their hands, even if they were ambushed, it would be difficult to instantly kill 2 or 3 thugs. Instead, you will be caught in a sudden encounter. 6 women play against 6 men, and the odds of winning are almost 0. No, this is not an alley in the city. The road is so wide, and we don't have guns. There is little point in ambushing. 35 It can even put us in danger. The only way at the moment is to keep running and don't stop. It was getting dark and I continued to run until I reached Yizhishan. Li Xinli had already seen the other party's purpose. I just want to keep chasing them and wait until it gets dark. 4 flowers. I will not give you a chance. As long as you don't stop, it's safe to reach Yizishan. But Xinli, have you ever thought about it? It's very dangerous after dark. No, Li Xinli said as she ran. Didn't the Red Queen say that Azile people created the Corpse King, and we did see it on Wangjiang Mountain? The zombies that could not be seen at a glance were like a commander-in-chief, heading towards Yizishan. Run away, and you didn't notice? We haven't seen a single zombie since we went down the mountain 55. It can be concluded that the zombies at the foot of the mountain were all requisitioned by the Corpse King when he crossed the border. Even at night, there will be no zombies on the way to Yizishan. Li Xinli's mind was calm. The current situation was analyzed in an instant. 00 Even if the neighborhood is safe, how can you be sure that Yizishan is safe now, if the Sea of Corpses destroys a finger mountain? There is the paradise of the Sea of Corpses. If we break in after dark, we will die, the girls were discussing, even arguing. But it didn't stop. Everyone kept a constant speed and ran along the road. However, there is a big problem that has to be solved. Like the girl said before, if the Sea of Corpses destroyed a finger mountain, they ran over overnight, which is indeed an act of death. Li Xinli sighed. We have no choice but to gamble. Betting a finger mountain has wiped out the Sea of Corpses. If any of you are afraid, you can follow the men behind and go back to their camp. You can also set foot on a nearby mountain 33. The girls looked back at the same time, and the menacing thugs made them dispel their thoughts immediately. Rather than go up the mountain with the thugs and be tortured, might as well hide in the nearby mountains. But this is also the last resort. Humans are always social animals, and if the Sea of Corpses really destroys Yizishan, it will spread to the nearby mountain sooner or later. So the best way is to go to One Finger Mountain. Forget it, bet once. Keep running until you reach Yizi Mountain. The girls make a decision. This decision was reckless, but on Wangjiang Mountain, they witnessed that man can turn into a dragon with their own eyes. He is so powerful. It should be able to protect Yizishan, again. 308, attack all night and kill. Gradually, as the sky darkened, the sound of gunfire in the direction of Yizishan also stopped. The girls were a little more flustered. The sound of the cannon stopped, which meant that there were two possibilities. The One Finger Mountain was completely destroyed, or the Sea of Corpses was completely defeated. Now the ingredients of gambling are more obvious. But no matter what the result is, now the arrow has to be sent on the string. Everyone hurry up. Don't let the people behind you catch up. 35 There is a moon tonight. The color of the road cement, whitened in the moonlight, can be seen clearly. Just run along the road. Girls speed up. The thugs behind began to hesitate. Brother Chang Mao, these women don't seem to plan to stop. What should we do? Continue chasing? What if I encounter a group of corpses? The long-haired man also began to beat drums in his heart. It's okay to encounter a group of corpses, but if he encounters a sea of corpses, it will be troublesome. 50. After all, this road leads to Yizishan. The further he walked, the closer he got to Yizi Mountain. The long-haired man believed that Yizi Mountain must have been captured by the Sea of Corpses. It means that if you can't run far, you will face the Sea of Corpses. No, number 99, we can't continue chasing them. These women were forced into a corner by us, so they ran towards Yizishan. They're betting against us. Bet we don't dare to chase. In the eyes of the thugs, Li Xinli and the others had already broken the boat and ran in the direction of the Sea of Corpses. Even at night, they have put themselves to death. As for whether or not to survive, it depends on whether the thugs dare to chase. Brother Chang Mao, stop chasing. We can't do it. Those women have no way out. 99 We have. Let's go back, find a house by the roadside for one night, and go back to the base at dawn. 5 Follow these crazy women to die. Can't make it. The thugs were cowardly at this moment, not because Li Xinli and the others were bold, but because they had no choice. The thugs have options. The long-haired man looked at the women in front of them. Their embarrassed figures meant that their physical energy consumption was extremely serious. But I am not doing well here. After a long run, everyone was very tired. The long-haired man knew very well that they could speed up and catch up with this group of women at the fastest speed. But the consequences are also serious. When there is not much physical energy left, speeding up the sprint will inevitably result in faster physical energy consumption. Even after catching up with these women, I am afraid there is not much strength to fight. Hey, miscalculated. Stop. 99 The long-haired man stopped the mob and said, these women are going to die. We won't go to the funeral, rest in place for 10 minutes, and then return. 39 The thugs breathed a sigh of relief. They didn't want to chase, so everyone sat down, and some people took out cigarettes and burned them. Although the bamboo basket is empty. At least he is still alive, and he can live to this day. Although he is a ruthless person, he also cherishes his own life even more. Front of the road. The girls continued to run as fast as they could. The thugs have stopped. Should we take a break as well? A girl said breathlessly. They are very tired now, and they all want to lie down and rest, but Li Xinli knows that once they lie down, they will never want to get up again. Now that I'm tired and numb, I can continue to run with willpower. Can't stop. No one knows which thugs will catch up with us while we are resting. 35 If we stop, we will lose willpower, work harder until we can't see the thugs, then we'll rest. This is Li Xinli's experience. She was exhausted from being chased by the corpse, and she wanted to take a short rest and recover before running away. But after sitting down, I don't want to get up again. It seems that every cell in the body is greedily enjoying the comfort brought by rest. Every cell will keep telling itself, take a break and stop running. So can't stop now. Gotta keep running. The girls also gritted their teeth and dragged their tired bodies to run until they could not see the thugs, and then rested in a 2-story Western-style building on the side of the road. After locking the door, everyone was lying in the living room and resting. The room was very dark. But there is no sound of zombies, which means that when the sea of corpses crossed the border, all the scattered zombies in the vicinity were transferred away very safe. No one wants to move now. After resting for about 10 minutes, Li Xinli came to the balcony on the second floor and observed the road while resting. Fortunately, the thugs seem to really give up. Haven't caught up so far. Xinli, do we want to spend the night here tonight, wait for dawn before heading to Yizi Mountain? 39 Walking at night is too dangerous. Li Xinli thought about it and thought it made sense, but it seems more dangerous to spend the night in a house by the road. At this time, the girls also came to the balcony on the second floor one after another. Li Xinli looked at the end of the road under the moonlight, and said solemnly, have you ever thought about what if the thugs continue to follow us? 5 I mean to say. What if they had enough rest, and in the second half of the night, when we were asleep, searched for us along the houses on both sides of the road? You know, we're all the same as them. Everyone is an ordinary survivor. They have physical limitations, and they have to rest when they are tired. If the thugs are bold enough, they may continue to pursue us. The girls thought about it. I don't think there is such a possibility. After all, who would dare to walk at night in the end times? Running all day without rest? Of course, this is just my guess. Maybe the thugs are heading towards their camp. But we can't take that risk. I decided to rest for another hour, and then rush to Yizishan overnight. 55 Just imagine, with such a large-scale corpse besieging Yizishan, even if it is 10 kilometers apart, you should be able to hear the endless roar of zombies. 35 Especially when it's quieter at night, maybe you can hear it from 15 kilometers away. I'm not blindly going to Yizishan, but I want to confirm. If we hear the roar of dense zombies, we will come back and think of other ways. The girls were silent for a while. Finally agreed with Li Xinli's suggestion. As she said, with such a large-scale sea of corpses, and the night is so quiet, it is estimated that the roar can be heard from 2.3 kilometers away. So don't worry about breaking into the sea of corpses. An hour passed. The girls ate some food, rested and continued on their way along the highway. 6 figures trot quietly, and it is estimated that at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they will reach the plain of Yizishan. As it keeps getting closer to Finger Mountain, the doubts in the girls' hearts became stronger and stronger, because they did not see the corpses of the zombies. It stands to reason that such a large-scale sea of corpses, the battle that takes place is bound to be tragic, and the battle area should also be large. You shouldn't be able to see the corpses of zombies. 2 in the morning. As they got closer to Yizishan, they still didn't hear the corpse roar, and they didn't even see the zombie's corpse. It's so weird. If you can't hear the corpse roar, it's impossible not to even see the corpse. Are we going in the wrong direction? 309. Murders like Li Xinli, both beauty and fierceness. A strange atmosphere enveloped the girls' hearts. Li Xinli climbed to the roof of a house and looked in the direction of Yizi Mountain, but under the moonlight, she saw no zombies. She listened again. The silent night, and there was no roar of the sea of corpses, meant that the vicinity was still safe. She jumped off the roof. The girls gathered around. Xinli, How are you? 5. Have you found anything? Have you seen the Sea of Corpses? Li Xinlei shook her head. Strange, it shouldn't be far from Yizi Mountain, right? 99. She held up a flashlight. There is a mileage stake on the side of the national road, which shows that there are 20 kilometers left to Yizi Mountain. This also means that people are not going in the wrong direction. It's such a short distance, not only can't I hear the roar of the zombies, I can't even see the corpse. What happened to Yizishin? At this moment, everyone dared not move forward. Because it's so weird. Li Xinlei swallowed her saliva, took a deep breath, and said, we've already arrived here, so there's no reason not to keep going. Anyway, 17 has to go and see what happened to Yizishin. After speaking, Li Xinlei walked forward on her own. She didn't call the other girls. Because it is too strange, the next road may have great risks. Li Xinlei just insisted on seeing the holy place in her heart. There is no need to pull other companions on the adventure. However, the 5 girls still followed, and they have all come here. Where can they go back? Gradually, the crowd got closer and closer to Yizi Mountain. They entered the plain, and the road became straight. The field of vision is also wider. In the distance, a brightly lit base appeared in front of him. Is it a mountain? Where is One Finger Mountain? 39. A girl pointed to the lights in the distance and asked in excitement and disbelief. Not just this girl. At this moment, everyone showed incredible eyes, looking at the brightly lit base in the distance. Unbelievable. There is still electricity here, and the entire base is powered on. How did they do it? It is understandable to say that those street lights have electricity. After all, solar street lights absorb solar photovoltaics during the day, and the street lights will automatically turn on at night. But some rooms are also lit. In particular, the dense long-range searchlights shoot out countless bright beams in the dark night. This kind of light is not solar-powered. That's right, there must be a Finger Mountain. We got it right, Li Xinlei said excitedly. Looking at the brightly lit base, there is a feeling of returning to civilization. And those searchlights kept turning, meaning the vigil was operating. Come on, let's go over there. The girls swept away their exhaustion and quickly ran towards Yizishin gradually. They were exposed to searchlights, and 6 girls with blood on their faces looked like thugs. Boom, the gunshot sounded, and a bullet was shot at Li Xinlei's feet. Come on, put your hands up. After Li Xinlei finished speaking, she took the lead in raising her hands, indicating that she was not a threat. After the 6 girls raised their hands, they did not move forward. Not long after, a dozen locomotives drove out of the gate and stopped 30 meters in front of Li Xinlei. The high beams of the locomotive stinged the eyes. Where are you from and why are you here in the middle of the night? Li Xinlei and the girls dropped their weapons. We came from Ji province to defect to Yizishin, and there were always thugs behind us. In the locomotive team opposite, someone asked, what about the thugs? I don't know why, they gave up in the end, but we didn't dare to spend the night by the road, so we came to Yizishin overnight. 35. I had the guts to turn off the high beams. Dozens of locomotives view high beams. At this time, Li Xinlei saw that there were more than a dozen women holding carbines on the opposite side. Everyone is fully armed, dressed cleanly, looking energetic and valiant. She doesn't look like someone who has experienced a bloody battle in the Sea of Corpses, and her psychological doubts are even heavier. Where is the Sea of Corpses that can't be seen? Come with me, you guys. The female cyclist brought Li Xinlei and her group to the school grounds outside the base. Temporary tents are set up here. You are staying overnight here tonight. After dawn, Minister Han of the Personnel Department will question you. If there is no problem, you can officially become a member of the base tomorrow. After speaking, female motorists, back to the city walls. Li Xinlei looked at the tall and thick city wall, on which stood female soldiers with automatic rifles, and some people held exaggerated heavy snipers. There are towering turrets all over the city walls. At this time, the girls' dangling hearts were completely relaxed, even though they had not yet entered the base. However, the school field still belongs to the firepower coverage of Yizishin. There are so many searchlights to patrol. Whether it is zombies or thugs, it is impossible to approach the base. The girls can finally rest in peace. Early the next morning, Li Xinlei and the others were called to the gate. Han Kexin and Lu Man were already at the desk. The garrison who kept vigil last night had already told them what had happened. Knowing that these female survivors were chased by the thugs last night, they immediately asked the Red Queen to check the surveillance and track the location of the thugs. A thug appeared near Yizishin. It's worth it. Must end. At this time, Li Xinli came to Han Kexin, and the bloodstains on her face had been removed, revealing her exquisite and beautiful facial features. Han Kexin and Lu Man looked at each other and smiled. This face value, the captain's LSP, not 500 pairs, he is a good captain of Liang Xiao Yu, and he will definitely be satisfied. What is your name? My name is Li Xinli. As Li Xinli opened her mouth, Han Kexin used her spiritual detection to hear all the secrets in her heart. Li Xinli. Before the end of the world, he was a professional and stunning actor, specializing in major animation events, exhibition sites, and serving as a member of the Atmosphere Group. I really like to play the popular anime and game characters such as Empress, 2B, Tsunade, Ali, Koto and so on. And both are choppy characters. Because of her natural figure advantages, she is very suitable to play these characters. As Han Kexin kept eavesdropping. No more information. After the end of the world, Li Xinli, with a hint of luck and courage, kept fleeing and then killed the zombies. Gradually, he has the ability to protect himself. During the period, he joined 7 or 8 organizations, large and small, and they were basically washed away by the corpse tide. Some organizations were bloodbathed by zombies. In these bases, she also suffered several threats from survivors, all because of her appearance and figure, which attracted bad intentions. But Li Xinli is also a ruthless character. Except for the first murder, she was frightened for a long time. From the second time on, everything went much better. Before and after, Li Xinli killed 15 people, which shocked Han Kexin. To know. She was just an ordinary survivor who killed so many people. 310, there are so many beauties here, are they all lesbians? Fortunately, Li Xinli is not addicted to murder. The 15 people she killed were all thugs who had bad intentions towards her. On the premise that the other party was not malicious, Li Xinli was still very kind. Don't say anything else. The 5 girls who followed her came to Yizishan under her leadership. At this time, Li Xinli didn't know that Han Kexin had eavesdropped on all her thoughts. She continues to introduce herself. Okay, you don't need to say anything, I already know. At this time, Lu Man lowered a curse contract. Look at the content of the contract, if there is no objection, just sign it, and then you can officially become a member of the base. Although Lu Man and Han Kexin had already decided that the captain should accept Li Xinli, it is very likely that they will become their team members in the future. But it's the same thing. Everyone must sign a contract, even Xiaoran, who was the first to follow the captain, signed a contract on his own initiative. A newcomer, there is no reason not to sign. Li Xinli looked at the contents of the contract with an incredible look. What contract is this? For strong women, the punishment will come from the palace immediately. The female high-ranking base in the base who speaks lightly will be immediately punished by tongue cutting. What is this all about? It looks childish. However, Li Xinli didn't think about it too much, and immediately signed it. At this moment, the curse contracts was bound to her soul. Han Kexin and Lu Man looked at each other and smiled. Press the communication headset. Xiaoran, come down here, there is a survivor here, you can take it up and let the captain take a look. 99 Hearing Han Kexin's tone, it was obvious that he had found another suitable seedling to become a team member. And Xiaoran immediately said happily, okay, come down right now. 39 As soon as the voice fell, in less than a minute, a figure flying in the wind floated down from the top of the mountain. Li Xinli and the 5 girls were stunned. People who can fly. I saw a man who could fly again. And the girl who can fly in front of her is different from the 2 girls who can change into a dragon in front of the Wangjiang cliff last time. This girl named Xiaoran is a lolly with a childlike face. That is to say, the people who can fly with a finger are not limited to the 3 people who can turn into dragons. What is the base here? Makes it seem like everyone can fly. Miss Xinli, come with me. Where to? Of course I'm going to the mountains to meet our captain. 5 See the captain. Li Xinli was a little confused. She looked at the 5 sisters who had escaped here together and said, what about them? Xiaoran glanced at the 5 girls. Even before the apocalypse, they can be considered great beauties, but Xiaoran knew that, with Xiao Yu's LSP's eyes, she should not look down on them. Heaven and earth conscience, wronged. It's the system LSP. Okay. Your companion will naturally be arranged in a while, you go up with me to see the captain first. If you have a relationship with the captain, there will be unexpected gains. Li Xinli nodded at a loss, not knowing why she wanted to see the captain all of a sudden. There is also this captain. You can tell by the name that he is a team captain or something like that. To be reasonable, the status of this level in the base area should be very general. Why is this lady in front of you? And the personnel minister in front of the gate seems to have a lot of respect for the captain? With doubts, Xiaoran took Li Xinlei and used her imperial energy to fly to the mountaintop manor of Yizishan. Finally here, Li Xinlei has a sense of satisfaction that her wish has been fulfilled. When she was not disconnected from the internet, she watched the promotional video of Yizishan. At that time, I was envious of the female warriors who could live on the top of the mountain. Clean and elegant environment. The scent of birds and flowers is everywhere. The swimming pool, the villa, the hot spring, and the cleanly dressed servants. Li Xinlei looked at her dirty clothes and felt a sense of inferiority. It was the first time in her life that she felt inferior. Before the end of the world, she was a goddess who was madly infatuated by countless Otakus and had countless suitors. At that time, she was confident. Only as the end times come, she crawled and struggled in the dark, struggling to survive, making herself like a beggar. Li Xinlei noticed. In the hilltop manor, all women live, and they are all young and beautiful women. Even a maid. Purple is also enough to compare with those of his companions. They were wearing very sexy uniforms, and Li Xinlei couldn't help but guess what the identity of this so-called captain was. I think that all the upper floors of Yizishan are women. Li Xinlei couldn't help but wonder if the captain was Lala, and even the top management was Lala. Otherwise, the top of the mountain is full of sexy women, and it will not make sense. Li Xinlei suddenly got goosebumps. What frightened her even more was that she was taken to the top of Yizishan as soon as she reached the top of the mountain. Is it true that everyone who is beautiful will be sent to the top of the mountain in Lala? Do not. I don't want to kill me either. Gay and Lara, the most disgusting, at this time. A tall and sunny man walked slowly over man? Is there a man on the top of the mountain? Taking a closer look, the figure and temperament of this man are extremely similar to the man who can change into Dragon 66 Xiao Yu. You are here, come, let me introduce you, this is our captain and the leader of Yizishan. Boom. One by one Li Xinlei felt that her head was not enough. The leader of One Finger Mountain turned out to be a man. I was on the edge of Wangjiang Mountain that day, and what I saw turned out to be the leader of Yizhi Mountain. There is such a powerful leader guarding. No wonder Yizishan was able to survive the siege of the Sea of Corpses. Yes, it's weird. Until now, Li Xinlei didn't know how Yizishan killed the Sea of Corpses. But it doesn't matter. As long as One Finger Mountain is still there. What's your name? Li Xinlei looked up at the man in front of her. My name is Li Xinlei 99A. A little nervous at this moment. At plus B plus at plus. She had killed 15 men with her own hands, but when facing Xiao Yu, she couldn't help but feel nervous. Perhaps it was Xiao Yu's way of changing into a dragon that day, which made Li Xinlei feel, deeply annoyed. Xiao Yu slapped Li Xinlei in the face. He was wearing dirty clothes and his hair was a little messy. But the face is clean. The skin is fine. The facial features are extremely delicate, and in the bright eyes, there is a sense of tenacity and coldness. The body is also perfect. In the goddess team, it is no worse than anyone else. If you wash it and put on a professional battle uniform, it will be even more beautiful. There should be no problem with the appearance. What did you do before the end of the world? I am a professional cosplayer, specializing in playing various anime and game characters. Oh. And this profession. Xiao Yu was surprised that there were all kinds of occupations in the team, but at least they were serious occupations. This cosplay professional player is too unpopular, and I don't know if the system will recognize it. Give me your hand, don't move. Whether the system can recognize it, try it and you will know. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 311, play the role of the Admiral. The Stunning Queen. Xiao Yu took Li Xinlei's hand and opened the team leader permissioning. Team matching in progress. Name, Li Xinlei. Occupation, cosplay professional cosplayer. Comprehensive score, 97, Ling. Meet the team conditions. Li Xinlei successfully joined the professional goddess team leader 0, Ling. Team members +1, you will get rewards, and all attributes will be doubled. Not bad, the system even recognizes this profession. At present, the number of team members has reached 18, and all the attributes of all team members have been increased by 18 times. Plus Yi Kemin's dynamic fitness. The attribute of all members is increased by 50%, which is equal to 27 times. As for Xiao Yu's full attributes, it was directly increased by 54 times, making it a lot stronger. At this moment, Li Xinlei was still in a state of ignorance. Just now, she clearly felt that a force was released from Xiao Yu's hands and entered her body. In an instant, she gained great power, and also awakened supernatural powers. At this time, there was a team information bar floating in front of him, and the name of the captain displayed was Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu, is that him? At this moment, Li Xinlei vaguely understood why those young ladies called him captain. It turned out to be this reason. Below the information bar, there is also a line of prompts. 500 is kicked out of the squad by the captain, or the captain dies, you will lose all power. Li Xinlei had a vague feeling. All the power she gained should have something to do with the captain. Captain, can you tell me what's going on? Xiao Yu gave Xiaoran a look. Xinlei, come with me, if there is anything you don't understand, I will tell you. And Xiaoran took Li Xinlei's team uniform from Xiao Yu and led her into the villa. Now that you have joined the team, that is the top management of Yizishan, and she has to pay attention to her image, so let Xiaoran take her to wash. Xiao Yu checked Li Xinlei's professional attributes. Professional attribute, killing heart. All team members will accumulate rage as they fight and kill. The higher the anger, the stronger the combat effectiveness. Good. It is an attribute that enhances the overall combat effectiveness. And it's the type that gets stronger the more you fight. It's just a little tasteless that the members of the goddess team are almost impossible to fight a protracted battle. Usually kills. If a large-scale, long-term battle is really needed, Xiao Yu will use howitzers or fighter jets. There are these heavy weapons in battle. The players are basically not on the battlefield. BHCD, Xiao Yu continued to check skills. Professional skills and strength play LV. 1. You can play an anime or game character fixedly, and have 10% of the character's strength. Strength playing cannot be played by men and women. As expected, Li Xinlei's career is the same. The difference is that after playing, you can get 10% of the player's strength. But don't underestimate it. For example, playing the role of Lao Wang, the general of the Navy headquarters, and obtaining 10% of the power of Lao Wang's glittering fruit is equivalent to 10% of the speed of light. Equivalent to a speed of 30,000 kilometers per second. In theory, it takes less than 2 seconds to run a circle around the blue star. Of course. Just walking in a straight line, using the power of the glittering fruit, you can only move in a straight line. So take a lap around the blue star. Can run a hexagonal route. Probably no more than 6 seconds. After reaching this conclusion, Xiao Yu was immediately stunned. This speed is absolutely incredible, and laser ray, light speed kick, and Sky Kong Cloud Sword are also very powerful moves. Xiao Yu decided. The fixed actor is confirmed to be Admiral Lao Wang. But the skill is only level 1. After a while, Li Xinlei came out, let her continue to level up. Xiao Yu now has experience balls. There are many from level 1 to level 2. Too many to use up. Sadly, there are no level 3 experience orbs. It was previously guessed that in this battle of Corpse C, the mixed stealth monsters are stronger, and originally pinned the hope of brushing out a level 3 experience ball. The result still didn't come out. It seems that the Red Queen is right, keep the Zile people and let them continue to create stronger monsters, so that they can hope to get level 3 experience orbs. Xiao Yu sat in the garden, drinking tea made by the uniformed maid. Smoked another cigarette. At this time, Han Kexin had sent Li Xinlei's information to Xiao Yu's eyes. A cursory glance. Xiao Yu had a basic understanding of Li Xinlei, and when she saw that she had killed 15 thugs, Xiao Yu was also shocked. This is too powerful. But Xiao Yu likes this kind of decisive player the most. As for whether Li Xinlei has anti-bones or not, it doesn't matter. After signing the curse contract, even if her whole body is full of anti-bones, it is useless. What's more, she kills thugs. Treating ordinary survivors is actually quite friendly. At this time, Li Xinlei finished washing and was led out by Xiaoran. She put on a brand new level 2 professional battle uniform, and she was 1.8 meters tall, which outlined a perfect figure. No wonder she likes to play the Empress the most. With this height and temperament, as well as her figure with her head down and her toes out of sight, She is indeed very impressive to play the queen. Captain, thank you. Xiao Yu nodded. Li Xinli continued, actually, we met at Wangjiang Cliff a few days ago, when you and the other 2 team members turned into 3 dragons fighting the giant underwater snake. I was watching from the edge of the cliff. You also told us to come to Yizishan to flee after the Sea of Corpses is eliminated. Oh? Xiao Yu suddenly remembered, as if there were several women standing on the edge of the cliff that day. There was Li Xinli. Really good fortune. If I had known that you looked like this, I had known that you were suitable for a team, I would have pulled you into the team that day. In fact, it was far away. A few women were unkempt, and Xiao Yu didn't see their faces clearly, so he missed it. But okay. If it belongs to you, you will never be able to run away. Isn't this still coming? Xinli, sit down. Xiao Yu's attitude towards Li Xinli is also a little better. After all, it is still a bit of fate. By the way, who are you going to choose as the regular actor? Li Xinli whispered, can I make my own decisions? 35 sure. Then I'll play the Empress, a character I've always liked. In fact, Xiao Yu also guessed that in the information given by Han Kexin, Li Xinli often played the role of the Empress. Not bad. The Empress has 3-color domineering, and the petrification ability of sweet fruits is also extremely good. It can be said to be both attack and support at the same time. Of course. Whether Xiao Yu plays Lao Wang, or Li Xinli plays the Empress, does not mean that she will always be in the role in the future. But in the battle, when you need to use the ability of Lao Wang or the Empress, you choose to play. Always keep your original image. Okay, it's up to you. Now I want you to continue to upgrade your skills and see if there are any new changes. Xiao Yu took out a bunch of level 1 experience balls and level 2 experience balls. Start with a level 1 experience ball, just crush it one by one. Xiao Yu is also looking forward to it. I don't know what new abilities can be unlocked at level 3 power play. 312, level 6 unlocked, Beast King Long, Swordsman Eagle Eye. As Li Xinli crushed the experience balls one by one, mysterious energy quickly breaks through the limit of skills. Ling. Your team member Li Xinli, who has upgraded a power play to level 2, can have 20% of the player's power. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. It seems that with the upgrade, the player's strength will also be improved. At this time, the energy of the experience ball breaks through the skill limit again. Ling. Your team member Li Xinli, who has upgraded a power play to level 3, can have 30% of the player's power. Ling. Level 3 strength play. Unlock the second fixed role. Level 3 unlocks new features. Can play 2 stunning, and automatic switching. Ignoring that, Xiao Yu hasn't decided on the second role yet, so don't worry for now. Wait until Li Xinli raises her skills to level 6. Ding, ding, ding. Your team member Li Xinli, who has upgraded a power play to level 6, can have 60% of the player's power. Ling. Level 6 strength play. Unlock the third fixed role. Level 6, add another role to play. Watching Li Xinli grab the experience ball and prepare to continue crushing it, Xiao Yu interrupted, okay, level 7 skills require level 3 experience orbs, so that's it for now. Xiao Yu took the remaining experience orbs back. Now that you have 2 fixed actors, do you have a suitable target? Li Xinli almost blurted out, there is. Second and third, plate Tsunade in 2D, respectively. Oh? Xiao Yu raised his eyebrows slightly. Why do you want to play these two? Isn't the 4 Emperor anti? Li Xinli was silent. After all, it was the question raised by the captain. Even if she didn't agree with her, she couldn't refute it. At this time, Xiaoran next to him explained, 4th Emperor Ant is so ugly, even if I don't want to play it, Tsunade and 2B look good. Before the end of the world, Xiaoran was also an anime fan. I know a lot. Well, Xiao Yu also admitted that the image of the 4 emperors is not very good, so Li Xinli is left to it. Besides, Tsunade and 2B are not weak either. Tsunade's taijutsu and ninjutsu are also very powerful, both healing and fighting, and the Yin Seal can also play the role of eternal youth. Grandma Tsunade used it to become the goddess of immortality. As for Miss 2B, her continuous melee combat ability is extremely powerful, unlike Tsunade and Empress, who need to consume a lot of energy when activating fruit ability and ninjutsu. Therefore, it is suitable to regard Miss 2B as a continuous exporter. Xiao Yu is much more realistic. Whether it looks good or not. The second fixed actor, directly selected Kato, the strongest of the 4 emperors. Illusory beast species, fish and fish fruit, directly transformed into the form of a blue dragon, destroying the sky and destroying the earth. This is the real blue dragon. It's not the water dragon who used Zhou Liangying's variety actor to transform into a water dragon in Dujiang a few days ago. The water dragon just has the form of a dragon. With the increase in size, the strength also increases. In fact, it does not have the strength of a dragon at all. The Qinglong form of Yuego, even if it can only exert 60% of its strength at present, it is still a Qinglong. The third fixed actor. Xiao Yu chose Eagle Eye, the number 1 swordsman. The golden Miao Dao combined with Eagle Eye's swordsmanship was equally invincible. If the play progress reaches 100%, it is also easy to sever a battleship with a single sword. At this time, Hong Hao who reported, the master, the fishing city in S province, the sea of corpses in both directions, and the invisible monsters were all wiped out. Which bodies were burned and when? Just now, send 2 helicopters, douse it with gasoline and set it on fire. Don't use too much gasoline. With so many corpses piled up together, as long as a small poke is ignited, a large amount of corpse oil will be extracted when the corpses of the zombies are burning. The corpse oil will continue to burn and set fire to other corpses. This is the experience summed up by burning zombie corpses many times. I didn't understand it before, so I poured a lot of gasoline and burned the body. Pure waste. Li Xinli heard the conversation between Queen Hong and Xiao Yu, and only now did she understand that Yizishan really wiped out the sea of corpses. It's just that the battlefield is not a mountain but elsewhere. After she joined the team, she also had a general understanding of the skills of the players. Especially Shangwen Kaiokio's enhanced brainwashing. When I communicated with Xiaoran before, I also specifically asked about this skill, and learned that it can actually brainwash the Corpse King. At that time, Li Xinli was thinking. Since he can control the Corpse King, he can control the Corpse Sea. Now it seems. It should be the Corpse King who controlled the sea of corpses, and then gathered together to be slaughtered. It was so terrifying. And all of this comes from Xiao Yu. Those who join the team will be endowed with powerful abilities. At this moment, Li Xinli couldn't help guessing. What kind of identity is his captain, to have such an ability to defy the sky, ask for flowers? That's right, Xinli. According to Kexin, you haven't listened to the broadcast of the Red Queen for a long time after your mobile phone was out of power, so you don't know anything about the battle at Yizishan. 5. It is even suspected that Yizishan was destroyed by a sea of corpses. 35. So I'm thinking that there should be quite a few survivors who don't know the current situation of Yizishan because they can't listen to the radio, so I am now appointing you as field propaganda captain. At present, everyone in Yizishan has been employed. The field publicity captain is also considered a position for Li Xinli. Then what shall I do? I'll give you a modified helicopter. You can choose the pilot and crew. Your mission is to patrol the vicinity of the ancient capital plain, find the survivors, and trumpet to notify them to defect to Yizishan immediately. 00. The Red Queen will be responsible for helping you monitor the ground. This task is quite easy. Moreover, the modified helicopter is closer to the ground, and after connecting to the Red Host, the detection picture is clearer. With the ability of the Red Queen, it can quickly capture the figure of the survivors on the ground. Captain, what if the mob camp is found? Xiao Yu looked at Li Xinli. Know what she is thinking. In the information that Han Kexin reported to him, it was clearly recorded that Li Xinli and her group of 6 were chased and killed by a mob group called Cheng Mao. And the two have fought. Li Xinli's group, relying on the concealment of the utility knife, attacked and killed 6 thugs. They are all cruel. Xiao Yu smiled. The long-haired gang, including the Kuija camp to which he belongs, you can deal with the thugs in it. I will give you a chance for revenge. Li Xinli suddenly widened her eyes. I didn't say this, whether it's a long-haired man or Brother Kui, these are all psychological secrets. Not invisible. But if you talk too much, you will lose. Han Kexin didn't ask, and Li Xinli didn't say anything. But the captain knew everything. By the way, Han Kexin has a spiritual charm skill. Level 3 unlocks the soul detection, which allows you to eavesdrop on your inner voice. Horrible. Xiao Yu smiled. Don't feel embarrassed. My team members have no secrets in front of me. I also appreciate your approach. But you are my person, and the thugs who bullied you will naturally not have a good end. Go and kill them, again. 313, give you a chance to take revenge in person. Hearing Xiao Yu's affirmation, Li Xinli breathed a sigh of relief. She really wanted to kill the long-haired men. For the safety of Yizishan, this group of people stayed nearby, which is a factor of instability. And Li Xinlei is not a lamb. Killing 15 people and treating the enemy is definitely not a soft-hearted character. It can be said that she is a murderous woman. Whether out of selfishness or for the stability of Yizishan, she hopes to kill the long-haired man with her own hands. Captain 35, you said just now, I'll just pick the players myself. Before Li Xinlei finished speaking, Xiao Yu stopped and interrupted. You want the girls who came with you to join your team, I'm sure about this. After a while, the Red Queen will arrange someone to teach you how to drive a magic helicopter. Li Xin did not expect things to go so smoothly. The 5 girls and her 500 escaped to Yizishan with her. It is best to be able to not disperse. However, Li Xinlei was also very panicked. She thought there was a special pilot to fly the helicopter. I didn't expect it to be a current study. Captain, my sisters have never even touched an airplane. Wait until they learn to fly. Maybe the thugs have already left, Xiaoran on the side said with a smile. Don't worry, the helicopter in our base is very easy to drive, and you can learn it in an hour at most. Besides, with a Red Queen, the person she is eyeing will never be able to escape. Xiao Yu immediately ordered the Red Queen. Let Wan Xiaolian arrange a magic-modified helicopter immediately to teach them in the shortest possible time. Yes, Master 35 Xiao Yu just stopped. You go, within today, kill the thug. But I have a condition. If the thugs are discovered in the future, they are not allowed to kill them. Just report to the Red Queen. 9. The infantry corps will send people to the thugs to capture them. 35. In Xiao Yu's eyes, anyone is valuable. The survivors are divided into 3, 6 and 9 classes according to the ground, and even thugs full of evil can put on shackles and become slaves. Better than killing it. At this time, Xiao Yu waved his hand and used skill sharing to share the 4 skills with Li Xinlei. They are strengthening headshots, kicking gong, stray dance steps, and domineering supermodels. He did not share Yi Kimin's heavy weapon. Because Li Xinlei's third character is Miss 2B of Neil's mechanical era. Has 60% of the strength of Miss 2B. The melee ability is extremely powerful, and it would be a waste to share heavy weapons. Might as well share a domineering supermodel. It has both control and defensive domineering realization, and domineering attack unlocked at level 6, which can directly kill the target with domineering. Choose a few weapons. 95. There is no limit to the number, you can take whatever you like. Xiao Yu put out a bunch of weapons, all of which were of orange quality. Having killed more than 60,000 invisible bosses, Xiao Yu now has a lot of orange weapons, ranging from pistols to various cold weapons. Li Xinlei looked at these cool weapons. Stunned for a while. She realized that after meeting the captain, she had soared into the sky. Xiaoran is right. As long as you have a relationship with the captain, there will be great luck. I just don't know what this edge indicator is. Li Xinlei looked at the dazzling array of weapons, and firstly chose an orange samurai sword, which was just right for Miss 2B's melee use. As for the Empress and Tsunade, neither has weapons. So only one cold weapon is enough. Then choose an orange pistol, an orange carbine. Li Xinlei looked at Xiao Yu a little embarrassed. Took so much? If you continue to take it, will the captain feel greedy? Xiao Yu smiled lightly. Since it's my person, I will naturally do things for me in the future, and I will use weapons as I want, but you have to remember, after I issued the order, if you have any objection, you can raise it. If it is denied by me, you must execute it unconditionally. 5. Can you do it? Li Xinlei nodded without hesitation. She believed that the captain possessed the power comparable to the gods, and the orders he issued would never be wrong. Even wrong. In front of his absolute strength, it is also right. Li Xinlei chose another orange heavy sniper, then immediately took a step back, indicating that she had enough weapons. She even felt a little greedy. It took so much? But just now, the captain gave him an enhanced headshot skill, so he needed an ultra-long-range heavy sniper. Okay, let's go, learn how to drive a helicopter with Wan Xiaohao. Although it is your job to fly a helicopter, you must also learn it, and, your subordinates, I will come back to give them strength in a moment. 35. Li Xinlei was shocked. Even those sisters will be given strength? Is the captain really a god? Can you give power to anyone you want? It's too exaggerated. Shocked and puzzled, Li Xinlei came down the mountain, found her sister, and was guided to the school grounds by the Red Queen. Wan Xiaolian has been waiting for a long time the other side. The Air Force Department of Yikishu, 2 magic helicopters, carrying gasoline, flew to the battlefields of Xiao Yu City in S Province. In a cremation cave surrounded by mountains on all sides, stacked with layers of zombie corpses, the stench permeates the entire mountain range. 2 magic helicopters dropped 2 barrels of gasoline. Then the helicopter fired rockets and exploded the gasoline barrels. The splashed gasoline burned brightly, and the corpse oil in the corpse was quickly roasted. The fire is getting bigger and bigger. There are more than 80 million zombies in the 2 battlefields, and it is estimated that it will take 10 days and a half months to burn them completely. More than 10 o'clock in the morning. Another magic helicopter left Yizhishan. Li Zunlei sat in the co-pilot. The pilot who flew the plane was a very nimble girl, who had been escaping with her from Wangjiangshan. Sister Xinglei, this plane feels like a toy. I still can't believe that I learned to fly a plane in half an hour. Don't say the driver can't believe it. Even Li Zunlei found it unbelievable. Even before the end of the world, this helicopter had never been seen in a sci-fi movie. Not even a propeller. Operation is extremely simple. She suddenly realized that in the team information, Baikai and Nippon skill was magic machine tool. It is said that the chariots and planes in the base area, it's all refitted with that kind of magic machine. One Finger Mountain is really capable of countless people. Sister Xinglei, Brother Kui's camp is no longer on the mountain before, so I'm afraid the new camp is a bit hard to find. 5 There are mountains nearby. It is indeed not easy to find a small base in a hidden mountain. If it's really that easy to find, Xiao Yu will not send Li Zunlei out. However, when the helicopter flies at a low altitude, the scene on the ground will be more clearly transmitted to the Red Host. Don't worry, they are near Wangjiang Mountain 35. Lower the altitude of the plane to 50 meters, and even if they hide in a mouse hole, they can be pulled out. By the way, after finding those thugs, don't shoot. Why? 314, playing 2B for the first time, the enemy's road is narrow. Li Zunlei asked her to stop firing after she found the Kuija camp. Although Xiao Yu has given her the right to take revenge. But from Xiao Yu's tone, it could be heard that he did not advocate killing the thugs directly, and this time the authorization was given to her entirely for the reason of joining the team. Since the captain sold himself a favor, reasonably, no right should be abused. The long-haired group belonged to the Kuija camp, and there must be many thugs. But there are also many innocents. Li Zunlei kills like numb, but she is not addicted to killing, and she can distinguish who should be killed and who should not be killed at this time. The prompt after the red popped up. Finding survivors 35. As the prompt sounded, a monitoring image appeared on the helicopter display. A red circle marked with a small gray dot. After the picture is enlarged, the gray dots show a woman in a dirty dress, running on a mountain road shaded by giant trees. It looked like someone was chasing him from behind. This picture was taken from the gap between the big trees. The angle is very limited. 17. If it weren't for the helicopter flying at a low altitude of 50 meters, it would be difficult to find out only by the monitoring of the Red Queen. After the red, marked the location just now on the panoramic map. Okay. Since the helicopter had already flown over the path just now, the Red Queen marked the position, and the pilot returned. This time from the monitoring to see more clearly. There was indeed a woman running in embarrassment. From the gaps in the woods, 5 or 6 people could be seen chasing. I'll go down first, you're circling around here, and I'll contact you when I find the camp. After speaking, Li Zunlei jumped off the plane. The girls in the cabin were so frightened that they exclaimed at the same time, but they reacted immediately, and even they were given magical powers by the leader. Not to mention Li Zunlei, who went up the mountain and was personally received by the leader. At this moment, Li Zunlei turned into a black shadow and fell to the ground in the blink of an eye. At this time, she had already started her third role. Short silver hair. Wearing goggles like black cloth, wearing a black princess dress, and levitating with a samurai sword on his back. Li Zunlei played Miss 2B. At this time, she happened to land on the mountain path, blocking the people who were running away and chasing. The woman in front was stopped. A strangely dressed woman descended from the sky, which was a bit bizarre, and was recognized by the thugs behind. Damn it, cosplay. The thugs were also stunned for a while, and now is not an era of peace. There are cannibalistic zombies and thugs everywhere. Why do people still play cosplay? What quirk is this? However, the girl in front of her has a very good figure. Although her eyes are covered, her facial features should also be extremely beautiful in terms of face shape, nose shape, and mouth shape. Hey, beauty, can you see with your eyes closed? Why don't we come to help you pluck the black cloth, and also pluck the excess cloth from your body by the way? Ha ha ha, the 5 thugs laughed. If you take this back, it will be much more fun than those women on the mountain. You know, the black cloth on Li Xinlei's face is actually tactical goggles. She could clearly see the thugs in front of her. 2 of them were the same people who chased and killed them with Long Mao yesterday. Good luck. I thought it would take some effort to find you, but I didn't expect to be delivered to your door. Li Xinlei bypassed a panic-stricken female survivor, and slowly pulled out the orange samurai sword behind her. The body of the sword was beating with gorgeous orange flames, and as she drew the sword, a comet tail was drawn. The 5 thugs were dumbfounded. I thought the samurai sword behind Li Xinlei was just a prop for cosplay. Who knew that it was a strange long knife that was pulled out? Those beating orange flames looked heart-palpitating and made people instinctively fearful. The 5 men raised Tengdun involuntarily. In the right hand is a long hair and a machete. At this moment, Li Xinlei moved. A sprint passed, the sharp orange samurai sword waved an orange sword light, and 4 heads rose into the sky. Kill 4 people in one move. At this time, there was only 1 thug left, and he was also one of the thugs from yesterday. Li Xinlei deliberately kept it and did not kill him. I saw her figure disappear in front of the mob out of thin air. Appeared immediately behind. The samurai sword shattered twice, and the mob screamed and fell down, his hands already cut off. Li Xinlei's blade touched the thug's throat. Say, where's the long hair? 39 The thug's palm was already broken, and blood spurted from the arteries and blood vessels. He was frightened and wanted to cover it with his hands, but found that the other hand was also broken. He knew he was done. In the last days, without hands, it means death. The thugs screamed in horror, their eyes widened with bloodshot eyes, and they kept shouting, but they couldn't utter a complete sentence. Li Xinlei obviously has no experience in interrogation. In this case, you should cut off a hand first, then threaten your life, and kill it after you get the information you want. Now the thugs were so frightened they only knew how to scream. Li Xinlei also had no choice. At this time, the woman who was chased survived and asked cautiously, "Are you looking for Captain Longhair?" Li Xinlei turned around and said, "You know him?" The woman nodded and said, "Yes, he was on the mountain. I ran out of his hands, and these people are also his subordinates." The woman points to the corpse on the ground. Only one is a familiar face, and the other 3 are unfamiliar faces. It seems that the long-haired man killed 6 by himself and his sisters yesterday, and was replenished after returning. You take me up the mountain? The woman nodded. Yes, but you are so powerful, can you do me a favor? You said, 500 My sister is also on the mountain, can you save her? I ran away secretly, and there was nothing I could do, otherwise I would definitely run with my sister. Just save 1 person. If it was before, Li Xinlei would never agree. After all, it would be too dangerous to go to a camp to save people. But now, it's easy. Is your sister controlled by thugs? 35 Li Xinlei asked very reservedly. The so-called being controlled by thugs is actually being controlled by something like that. It's definitely not good to ask directly. Li Xinlei wants to confirm the identity of her sister. Yes, all the women on the mountain were controlled and most of the men turned into thugs. 5 Only a few have a conscience, but they are also miserable, being used as slaves every day and given only 1 meal a day. 35 That's it. Since her sister was also persecuted by the thugs, she will definitely not tell lies. I promise to save your sister. 9 You take me up the mountain, and you have to help me identify who are thugs and who are not. Besides, who on the mountain has what weapons? Although Li Xinlei was once a member of this camp, the camp was not on this mountain at that time, and it was unknown whether the thugs had obtained hot weapons during this time. If there are hot weapons, you have to play the Empress. Armored domineering can defend against bullet shooting. 315 Play the role of the Queen, and test the actual combat effective skills. When asked by Li Xinlei, the female survivor told the general situation on the mountain. There were 35 thugs. Those who were unwilling to violate their conscience were all reduced to slaves. A total of 14 people, 20 female survivors. All of them have become tools for thug entertainment. Although the female survivors did not elaborate, they can imagine what happened to them. Despite this, Li Xinlei still decided to rescue these women. The Yizishan base area has more men than women. Although these women are not clean, They are not willing to take it back to at least have a baby contribute to the future continuation of the base. Come on, let's go up the mountain. 35 The thugs on the mountain have no thermal weapons, only 4 compound bows for long-range weapons, and an anti-terrorist crossbow. There is no danger and even playing 2D. At this time, the thugs were still crying on the ground. Li Xinlei stomped on his neck and called the helicopter. The thugs are on the mountain where I am. You first go to the top of the mountain and wait. Okay Sister Xinlei. 35 The female survivor led the way, and the two walked towards the top of the mountain. At this time, the mountain camp Brother Kui ordered loudly. And everyone immediately hid. It's all hidden for Lao Tzu, and no one is allowed to move their camp, in an abandoned elementary school on a hill, was surrounded by walls and would have been safe. Being a local emperor is much more enjoyable than joining other bases. Moreover, Brother Kui thought that Yizishan should be wiped out by the sea of corpses. It is also very troublesome to find new bases. Now there is no network and it is dangerous outside. It is better to collect food from farmers' homes in the nearby mountains. Let's work hard to farm in the mountains, also better than venturing outside. However, the sudden appearance of the helicopter made Kui Jie realize that they may have been discovered. No matter what force the helicopter is to his camp, they are all enemies. The people in the camp are all cold weapons. If the other party wants to recruit his people, they will not even have the ability to resist. If the helicopter is official with the atrocities they committed on the mountain, they still don't know what kind of starvation punishment they will face. Even if the population is scarce in the apocalypse, they will not be killed. They will become prisoners, so they must hide. At this point a woman rushed to the playground and waved hard at the helicopter. Save me. Hurry up and save us. Kui Jie was shocked and cursed in his heart, which BD was taking care of the woman and ran out. Shot me to death. Swoosh. The thug with the anti-terrorist crossbow pulled the trigger, and an arrow shot through the woman's head. Archery is accurate. It can be seen that after the end of the world, repeated practiced a very high level of shooting. Kui Jie, what should I do? The body was on the playground. The helicopter should have seen it. Kui Jie didn't know what to do for a while. Send someone to rush out to drag the body back, and it will definitely be seen by the helicopter in the sky. Don't send people out. Helicopter is also estimated to have seen the body just when they were in a dilemma. 2 figures walked into the gate of the school, and everyone looked over together. At the front is a beauty from a cosplay 2B lady. Even if you can't see the face clearly, this figure is definitely a beauty. And behind it is the existence of a woman who escaped. Long hair recognized it at a glance. He also sent his men to chase. Brother Kui, the one in the back is ours. I sent 5 people to chase, but now the pursuers haven't come back. This woman has come back. 55 I don't think it's easy. Long-haired, sharp-eyed, seeing Li Xinlei carrying a samurai sword behind her back, plus the murderous aura emanating from her body, she realized that it was not good. At this time Li Xinlei released her role of 2B and returned to her original appearance. She saw the long hair from the crowd at a glance. That messy long hair is so recognizable. Li Xinlei walked towards Long Mao. This change of dress surprised everyone, and even their heads couldn't turn their heads. Long hair is even more shocked. It dropped the chin. How could it be her? There were 3 thugs beside Chang Mao, who were also the ones who chased Li Xinlei yesterday, and they also recognized Li Xinlei. The 4 were collectively stunned overnight. This woman's temperament seems to have undergone tremendous changes. The murderous look in his eyes grew stronger. Archery. Hurry up and shoot. Brother Kui looked at Chang Mao suspiciously, not knowing why he was so nervous. Isn't it just a woman? What are you afraid of? Don't be in a hurry to shoot arrows. 9 Let her come over, walk into the office building, and we'll subdue her. Brother Kui felt that it was too early to start. The helicopter was circling in the sky, and it was easy to be discovered. If one more person was killed, the circling helicopter might land. Now he has no idea. I don't know what the helicopter is circling in the sky, whether it is reconnaissance, or has already noticed it. For whatever reason, being able to minimize exposure is best. Chang Mao swallowed his saliva and was so nervous that he didn't know what to say. He had an intuition that this woman was even more dangerous. If it is said that yesterday was a sudden attack, he killed 6 of his subordinates. Well, today this woman should have stronger means, which can be seen from her calmness and strong murderous aura. Maybe she got the helicopter in the sky. But Chang Mao did not dare to explain to Brother Kui because 6 people died yesterday. When I came back, I was worried about Kui Ji's punishment, so I lied that these 6 people were bitten to death by zombies. So he had to pretend he didn't know this woman. However, after Li Xinlei walked into the office building, she opened her mouth first. I didn't expect it. We meet again. While speaking, Li Xinlei unleashed a domineering supermodel, a powerful field aura that immediately shocked everyone to the point that they dared not move. Next moment she released long hair, and the control of the other three they were freed again suddenly let out more breath. The shock of that moment just now seemed to make the soul fall into the abyss, and even the thinking was imprisoned. You, who are you? Why were you so weak yesterday and so strong now? Long hair can't figure it out. Although yesterday's Li Xinlei was very dangerous, she was not strong. Today's, Li's, hand will make everyone lose their ability to move. This is too exaggerated. Li Xinlei smiled. There's no need to talk nonsense with someone like you. The voice fell. She stretched out her hand and took out the orange samurai sword. Before Chang Mao and the others could react, she only heard the sound of 4 blades breaking through the air immediately after. The feet of the 4 long-haired people were all cut off. I will not kill you. 35. I want you to die. After speaking, Li Xinlei let the magic-modified helicopter land on the playground and walked into the office building with a female survivor. Due to the large scope of the domineering realm, everyone could not move, and the female survivors quickly identified which were the thugs and which were the innocents. They bring the innocent out, the rest are ready to kill. However, when she thought that she had 2 other roles that she had not played before, Li Xinlei decided to try the actual combat effect of the queen's skills. She stepped into the helicopter the next moment to start the first role play. 316, 27 bases, all mine. As Li Xinlei started acting, her hair became as black as a waterfall, hanging down to her hips and has a G-style hairstyle. The smooth forehead was exposed, adding a touch of nobility. There was a little indifference in his eyes. A pair of golden snake earrings are worn on both ears. Wearing a white and red cheongsam in front of everyone's eyes, Li Xinlei played the queen. With 60% of the queen's strength at this moment, she felt that she was really an empress. Although he has played this role many times before the end of the world, it all starts from the aspects of clothing and hairstyle. Not like this moment has all the skills of the queen. Although the attack power is only 60%, but there is no pressure to deal with these thugs, including zombies. Li Xinlei looked at the thugs who were still in the domineering realm, opened her lips slightly, and said softly, "Captive arrows." This was the queen's big move, and Li Xinlei's fingers touched her lips, turning into a huge pink peach heart. Then pull back like a bow and arrow. Let go again. The pink peach hearts turned into dense pink arrows and shot out, instantly penetrating the wall of the office and hitting the thugs inside. The dense arrows are like raindrops. All the thugs were not spared. All of them were hit by pink arrows and petrified in an instant, turning into stone. 500 statues with different expressions. This is the fruit power of the Empress, petrified after being hit by a skill. Unless Li Xinlei takes the initiative to remove the power of skills for these people, she will always maintain the stone carving posture for the rest of her life. But then again, after the thugs were petrified, they would die if they did not drink water for 3 to 5 days at that time. Even if the petrification is lifted, can't survive either. Li Xinlei looked at the petrified thugs and waved them casually, and 4 pink arrows hit Chang Mao and others. They returned to normal from their petrified state. I said I wouldn't kill you. 39. I want you to die by yourself. Li Xinlei's voice was cold and emotionless. And these thugs tried to betray her after being counter-killed 6 people, and she and her sisters were chasing after her. With Li Xinlei's character, she would never be lenient. It would be too cheap to turn them into stone sculptures. So Li Xinlei started acting again. This time she is playing Tsunade. With 60% of Tsunade's strength, Li Xinlei's medical ninjutsu is also extremely powerful. She came to Chang Mao and others. He released the palm immortal art at will, and the chakra in the body turned into a mysterious power, quickly healing the injury of the long-haired 4 people's broken legs. Of course not reborn from a broken limb, just stop bleeding and scarring. That's all. The long hair is a bit stunned. This ever-changing woman chopped off her own legs. Why treat yourself again? Li Xinlei seemed to see the doubt in his eyes, and there was an indifferent sneer on her face. Do not misunderstand, I just don't want you to bleed to death too soon. 35. Longhair finally understood. He wants to let himself die slowly in despair. Although there is still food on the mountain, but just a single jackwall is enough to kill them, and they will live in panic all day long. Might as well be dead. But in fact, how many people who are still alive dare to face death? At this moment, Li Xinlei turned to look at a group of women and a dozen or so good-natured male survivors. You are all listening. After I leave, you can beat these thugs, but you are not allowed to beat them to death. Here the news excited expressions appeared in the women's eyes. These days they were on the mountain, tortured to death by these thugs, and finally they could take revenge. Just don't kill it. Isn't that easy? It's alright to torture these thugs. Well, with an indifferent smile on Li Xinlei's face, she slowly walked towards the magic-modified helicopter, and finally came to the door of the plane, where she turned into her original appearance again. Back, Li Xinlei said to the crowd, Yizishan has eliminated the sea of corpses, and this time I am here to save you. On behalf of Yizishan, you rest on the mountain for 2 days, and then go to Yizi Mountain. Remember, within a finger mountain. Other organizations or forces are not allowed. I hope you are doing well. The last BHCD reminder is also Li Xinlei's advice to survivors. After all, she was one of those people. Even some people washed away the zombie blood on their faces early, and at this moment they saw a few slightly familiar faces in the crowd. Of course, Li Xinlei would not recognize each other. After all, the identities are different. When the time comes, they ask you to do me a favor. As a high-level executive in the base area, should you help or not, do not help. The mind feels sorry, helped, and broke the rules of the base area. It's better not to recognize each other in the first place. At this time, the magic helicopter took off and flew towards the nearby mountains, and they continued to search for survivors. In fact, the Red Queen has locked many survivor camps. They were all stranded nearby because of the Corpse Sea battle. These camps do not have mobile phones and cannot receive the broadcast of the Red Queen, thinking that Yizishan was destroyed by the Sea of Corpses, so they are ready to stand on the mountain according to Xiao Yu's rules. No forces are allowed to exist within Yizishan's control area. The other side, One Finger Mountain conference room. Xiao Yu is convening a meeting of all high-level officials. The battle of the Sea of Corpses is over, and it's time for us to deal with the Shelley base. According to the information we have, 95 Dongfeng State has 34 Zilei bases, of which the Luhu base is under control and the Beishishan Park base is destroyed. In other words, there are 32 left. In this Corpse Sea battle, the Red Queen has locked 27 bases through anti-tracking chip monsters. There are 5 more for us to ignore. Just say these 27 bases. How do we attack them? In fact, Xiao Yu's plan is basically clear to the team members. What he wants is a complete control base, no matter how bad it is. The nuclear fusion engine group of each base must be retained. That's a steady stream of energy generators. It plays a vital role in restarting civilization in the future. After the Red Queen took over the Luhu base, she found that the base had a self-destruction program. That is to say, if rockets and missiles are launched at these bases with great fanfare, once the gates of the bases are blown up, the Shelley people will definitely realize that they will face the crazy massacre of Yizishan. After all, Xiao Yu attacked the Luhu base and the D-City base that had been volcanic, and this was what he did. Men and women, young and old, were left alive. In his eyes, the Shirai must be killed. Captain, a strong attack is definitely not acceptable, Han Kexin said, even if we blow up the gates of 27 bases immediately. 99, but the 27 bases are scattered across the country. We can't promise to rush in a very short time. Therefore, the Shire people have plenty of time to initiate self-destruction. Everyone was lost in thought. Automatic self-destruction requires only one thought of artificial intelligence, so it is not possible to attack by force. Not now than before. When the Luhu base was captured, the Zilei people did not realize that they would kill them all. Therefore, the self-destruction program is not started at the first time. 317. An Xiaoran unlocks the imprint of the law of time and space. Not just Luxalake's base, the same is true for the base in the D-City of the Volcano Kingdom. At that time, all the Zilei people were fully armed, and they thought there would be a bloody battle. Where do you know, a group of mechas broke in, especially Tang Kingsu's mecha. When falling, the sword energy that ignores the defense is released. Treat the commander hiding in the armored combat vehicle as an instant kill. The commander died suddenly. All the funerals have not been clearly explained, so that no one can even issue the order of the self-protection base. That's it. Xiao Yu easily took down the Volcano Country D-City base, and took away the nuclear fusion engine set of this base. At present, it has been assembled on a finger mountain. The entire base is now full of electricity, and a steady stream, but now I'm afraid there is no such opportunity. Yizishan's combat power is too strong, and the Zilei people already have a simple understanding. Once the gate of the base is blown up, it means that everyone will be killed in seconds. Therefore, at the moment when the gate of the base is blasted, the base commander may initiate the self-destruction procedure. Do not doubt the resolve of these believers. Xiao Yu believed that they would dare to do so. At this time, Lumen said, Captain, in fact, I think it would be better to keep the bases of these Zilei people. Oh? Xiao Yu frowned. Every time Lumen has different suggestions. He has unique views on some things. Lumen, talk about it. Good Captain. First of all, we have to make it clear that the occupation of the Shelley base is for those nuclear fusion generators. We can't use anything else. After all, when we blow up the gates of the base, the AI will delete the internal data. All we got was an empty shell. Base 35. Xiao Yu nodded nonchalantly as Lumen said he was just for the generator set, not because Xiao Yu didn't want to get the information about the Zilei people's base, but because he couldn't go and quietly destroy the base gate by external force. It will alert the Zilei people in advance. This is an endless cycle, and there is no way to organize self-destruction at this time. Lu Man continued, since we have locked these bases and there is no shortage of electricity, we can keep these 27 bases. It can also create an illusion for the Shire people. Let them think we didn't find those bases. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. Is this just continuing to play pigs? Not only that, we have to make good use of these bases. The level 3 experience orbs have not been generated, so we kept the Zile people's base in the Eastern Kingdom, and they will develop more powerful monsters in the future, and we can also easily kill them. Maybe you can get a level 3 experience orb. At this time, the Red Queen suddenly appeared. Don't forget, and my level 3 hostess girl more and more humane, afraid of forgetting her. Xiao Yu felt very good about Lu Man's suggestion. Keep the base of the Sheila anyway. They are not a threat, as long as they continue to exert pressure. They can urge them to keep developing more powerful monsters anyway. Once these foundations of the Shile people threaten, Yizishin missiles can be fired at any time, so there is absolutely no need to rush. Okay, just as Lu Man said, keep those bases for now, then we will upgrade your skills for you. Hear about upgrading skills. The team members were immediately excited, especially those players who had not yet reached level 6. They had been looking forward to it for a long time. This corpse sea battle killed so many invisible monsters. Level 2 experience orbs alone exploded more than 4,000, can't use up at all. Xiao Yu looked at the team list. Currently, there are Xiaoran, Kexin, Anna, Tingting, Guo Xiao, Yikishu, Xiao, Lu Man, Qi Meng, and Yu Xiaojun who have not upgraded their skills to level 6. 10 people in total. As long as 2,200 experience orbs are enough, coupled with Xiao Yu's own skills, he could get 3,000 experience orbs. Sure enough, it is what he has, and the people of Zile will give it. However, Xiao Yu felt a little apologetic when he saw these lists that needed to be upgraded, because Xiaoran, Kexin, Anna, and Tingting who followed him first were all in this list. It stands to reason that it should be the first batch of upgrades. Xiao Yu didn't do this on purpose either. After all, whose skills to upgrade to a limited extent was determined according to the situation at the time. Xiaoran and the others did not complain. Okay, everyone can take it and use it as you like. Xiao Yu piled the experience balls on the conference table, a full pile. You need to upgrade yourself to crush it. Xiao Yu took a look at his skills currently. Steal of Followers is a level 4 skill, and Attribution Mark is a level 3 skill. This is unique to him, cannot be replaced by team members to upgrade. Xiao Yu grabbed a handful of experience balls, crushed them and channeled mysterious energy to break through the skill barrier of the Mark of Followers. 4 flowers, instantly break through level 5. Level 6, no further upgrades are possible. Xiao Yu continued to upgrade Attribute Mark to level 6, however, these two skills are blessing skills, and even if they reach level 6, they will not unlock new functions. Never mind anyway, it is a skill that bestows blessings on followers and warriors. With this skill up to level 6, followers can get 12 attributes, and ordinary warriors can also get 6 attributes. Combat power can make a qualitative leap, but Xiao Yu wouldn't do it. He can't give all the benefits to others. In the eyes of the soldiers, he is a god. God is stingy. God's will and mercy are all grace. How can you give strength at will if it weren't for the sea of corpses? 00 In addition to the evolution of zombies, and the monsters developed by the Zile people are getting more and more powerful, Xiao Yu will not give the warriors so many attributes in the future. It will be full of attributes and will only be given to those who have made meritorious deeds. Ordinary fighters will remain as they are now. Soon, numerous prompts popped up in front of Xiao Yu's eyes. Ling, your team member An Xiaoran, upgrade the skill Space Warehouse to level 6 to unlock new features. Ling, your teammate Han Kexin, raise the skill Spiritual Charm to level 6. Ling, your team member Anna. Each team member has been upgraded one after another and unlocked new abilities of their respective skills. Xiao Yu immediately looked forward to it. 10 people, all upgraded at one time, do not know the new features unlocked, all have miraculous effects. It feels like opening a blind box. Xiao Yu starts by checking out the new features that Anna unlocks. Level 6 Space Warehouse unlocks Mark of the Law of Time and Space. The Mark of the Law of Time and Space. In a space, the Mark of the Law is placed, which can expand the internal space by 10,000 times and stop the flow of time. Xiao Yu thought about it carefully. Immediately, his eyes lit up. I depend. This is another giant space warehouse. You must know that there are too many materials collected in the base area, and it depends on the space warehouse of Xiao Yu, Xiaoran, and Xiao Yu. There are already faint signs of not being able to fit. If you continue to collect materials in the future, you can only stack them in the base. It will inevitably be oxidized and rotted outside. It's good. Now build a warehouse directly, place a law imprint on it, and expand it 10,000 times. Inside there are as many giant warehouses as you want. Awesome. Again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 318, Forced Contract, Death Comes. Xiao Yu immediately instructed Xiao Yu to arrange for Wu Deking to build a row of warehouses in the base not very demanding, 10 meters long, wide and high at that time. When the imprint of the law of time and space is placed, the interior can be expanded 10,000 times, that is to say a warehouse with a length, width and height of 10 meters is equivalent to 10 million cubic meters of internal space. Repairing 7 or 8 warehouses is completely sufficient for a period of time. Even Xiao Yu thought of more uses in the future, when the infantry army goes out to fight, especially after killing the domestic zombies, the chariot will definitely go to farther place at that time. Supplies will be a big problem. It is also inconvenient to send a cart to pull materials. It's good now each chariot is welded with a storage box inside, and the interior is covered with the imprint of the law of time and space, expanding the space by 10,000 times. Not to mention everyday ammo, even fruits and vegetables can be carried in the car. It is very convenient to 500s. Xiao Yu is very satisfied with the new function that Xiaoran's skill unlocks. He continued to check out the new features that Han Kexin unlocked. Level 6 Spiritual Charm unlocks Spiritual Perception. Spiritual Perception, actively release spiritual power to perceive the other party's inner thoughts and secrets. Xiao Yu was taken aback. Newbie big hair without questioning. You can directly perceive each other's psychological activities and hidden secrets. Since then no one will have any secrets in front of Xiao Yu and Han Kexin. Cool, keep checking this time. It's Anna, who unlocks Explosion Rate Boost. All those who enjoy the team attribute have a 40% chance of dropping lucky chips after killing creatures containing T-virus, and there is a 1% chance of dropping golden chips when picked up. It becomes a special item. As for what special props, I didn't get any hints. However, the explosion rate of golden chips is so low, and it is still of golden quality, so it must not be garbage. Although the probability of 1% is not high, but I can't bear the high number of zombies outside. There's always a chance it will pop out. Xiao Yu is looking forward to the new features that Anna will unlock. Keep checking this time. It was Liu Tingting. Her level 6 skill unlocks Contract Restoration. Establish a contractual relationship with a target, even if the other party is in another time and space. It can also apply the recovery state. Xiao Yu froze for a moment, immediately reacted. This new function is too powerful. As long as the contractual relationship is established in advance, even if you are in the playing universe, I can give you a blessing state. Don't be too arrogant. Not only milk the world, even if the world can milk, do you want to milk all the heavens? Xiao Yu sighed with emotion. Then check out the new features that Guo Xiao has unlocked. After her enhanced headshot is upgraded to level 6, it can cause 80% 100% headshot rate to moving and stationary targets within 3,000 meters. This distance is very exaggerated, although before the end of the world, the farthest sniper distance in the world was 3,540 meters, but that shot was the right time and place, pure luck. You must know that the gun used by the sniper had an effective range of only 2,000 meters, but it killed a target 3,540 meters away. Let him shoot another shot, and it will definitely fail to hit Guo Xiao's enhanced headshot. Within 3,000 meters, whether it is a moving or stationary target, at least 80% headshot rate can be achieved. This is the real sharpshooter. A new feature unlocked after level 6 is Class Attribute Enhancement. Guo Xiao's occupation attribute is 2x Shooting Talent. After strengthening, all team members will get 4x Shooting Talent, double directly for the players. It may not mean much, because all players share the enhanced headshot. Everyone is already a sharpshooter, but for the garrison, the air crew, the infantry regiment, and the independent regiments of Zhang Shibei and Liu Hongwei is significant. These warriors are ordinary survivors. Once you get the 4x Shooting Talent, your marksmanship will improve very quickly. Leave time. Surely everyone can be a sharpshooter. Xiao Yu continued to look at the next player, Yikeshu. After her light power is upgraded to level 6, the longest flight distance is 1,200 meters, and the maximum flight speed is 10 times the movement speed, and also unlocked the new feature Flying Escape. Not only can he fly in the sky, but he can also walk fast on the ground. The distance from the ground depends on how long he can hold his breath in the ground. The longer you hold your breath, the longer the escape time. Although Xiao Yu has not yet imagined what kind of miraculous effect Yukeshu's escaping ability can have, but it will definitely come in handy later. Even if you can't use it, it's still a magical ability. The next player is Xiao Yu with the upgrade of her magic design pen. The construction progress of the places that have been drawn has been increased by 10 times, building consumption reduced by 90%, building strength increased by 30 times. The upgrade effect is extremely obvious, even exaggerated, 10 times the construction progress, 30 times the strength increase. Even if a 1-meter thick wall is built, it is estimated that it can resist the bombing of the missile. It is very important for the future infrastructure of the base. After level 6, attribute enhancement is also unlocked, and Xiao Yu's occupational attribute hardening is enhanced x2. All team members gain 2 hardened layers per day, can resist 2 fatal attacks. This is a very practical life-saving skill, and it is triggered passively, like a layer of shield. Xiao Yu gave the giant eagle a hardened attribute for a giant eagle with a weak defense. This extra layer of hardening is of great significance, even if it is unfortunate to be continuously hit by powerful weapons. Can also rely on 2 layers of hardened hard resistance, then escape at a very fast flight speed. The next one is Lumen. All along, Xiao Yu has not paid much attention to upgrading her skills, because the meaning of the curse contract is only to manage the survivors in the base area and play a binding role. But with the upgrade unlocked, Xiao Yu was taken aback when he saw the new function. What Lumen unlocked was a mandatory contract, a curse contract drawn up in spirit, without the other party's signature or consent. The contract maker unilaterally enforced it. What's the meaning? I see who is not pleasing to the eye. Using the spirit to draw up a contract, the content is that as long as the target takes another 2.3 breaths of air, he will die immediately. This contract does not require the other party's consent and signature directly enforced. Xiao Yu took a deep breath. This is simply the sentence of death. Let whoever die must die, and he didn't even know how he died. So don't be too overbearing, strong group. Moreover, the content of the curse contract can be freely drafted. The content can be blink, walk, look back. Various daily actions, even psychological activities can become contracts just triggered. It is equivalent to triggering a curse contract, which is not only powerful, but also extremely secretive. Xiao Yu couldn't help but wonder, can you take advantage of the new features that Lumen unlocked and do something about it? If you can sneak into the base of the Zile people, can you use this ability to control everyone in an instant? Don't give them the opportunity to initiate self-destruction. 319, Divine Heavy Weapon vs Dao Qi Raging. Xiao Yu didn't think of a better way for a while. In fact, he planned to use Yikeshu's flying to escape from the sky to enter the base of the Zile people with the Earth escape technique, then use Lumen's compulsory contract to control all the bases. But there is a fatal flaw. Once inside the Chalet base, they are exposed to artificial intelligence surveillance. Therefore, it is impossible to control everyone at the first time. Even with Zhou Liangying's variety actor, it is not enough to become a Zile, because when using the Earth escape to enter the Chalet base, it will be seen by the internal monitoring of the base, will still be discovered by artificial intelligence wanting to obtain the complete base of the Zile people. It is not possible for the time being, so Xiao Yu gave up this plan. Maybe new players will join in the future, unlock new skills, and you have the opportunity to enter the Zile base quietly. Xiao Yu continued to check. The next player is Yu Xiaojin. She unlocks Shadow Dance when her Wandering Dance reaches level 6. After activating the skill, it becomes a faint shadow that can penetrate any obstacle. Xiao Yu was overjoyed, really dozed off to Senpeilo's eye. I was thinking just now that when I entered the Zile base, I would be discovered by artificial intelligence. This is not 17. After Yu Xiaojin's skills were upgraded, he directly solved the key points. Directly enter shadow into the base, and its phantom monitoring is hard to spot at that time. Find a hidden corner and use the ever-changing actors to turn into the appearance of Zile people. Then enter the main control room of the base in the shortest time. Unplug the power of AI. Put on the red host. In an instant, a base was completed, and it was an intact base. Even the information in the information database did not have time to delete. It must be possible to obtain a large number of internal core information of the Chalet people. Xiao Yu was suddenly overjoyed. However, this plan is temporarily in mind, and there is no need to rush into execution, because now is not the time to deal with this. Sheila, now that you are playing a pig, you have to keep playing to let the Zile people continue to develop more powerful monsters, although they must be put under pressure. If the pressure is too high, they may clump together. Have to create an illusion. Let the Shirai feel that Yizishin can be defeated. Next is your Kimin's heavy weapon. With a skill upgrade to level 6, she can now use a 600-pound weapon and unlock the Holy Heavy Weapon. Holy weight. Heavy weapons can be disassembled and assembled at will, and divided into N, which can change a lot. Shields, armor, swords, spears and halberds are omnipotent, and the changed armor can weaken the energy attack by 90%. The use and control of heavy weapons by sacred heavy weapons are more flexible and changeable, and a knife can be switched between attack and defense. It will also reduces energy attacks. Xiao Yu couldn't help but wonder Tang Kexin's raging swordsmanship can ignore defense. Knife key is an energy attack. It ignores defenses. Yikimen's sacred weapon, turned into armor, can weaken the attack by 90%. I don't know which of the two is stronger. This is a bit self-contradictory. It happens that all the team members who have been upgraded this time have already checked their skills. Xiao Yu decided to give it a try. He first used the magic modified machine tool to make a 600-pound knife, then released the holy heavy with a movement of his mind. The heavy 6-type broadsword in his hand instantly turned into a shield. Clear snow. Use your sword energy to rage. Try to attack me. Tang Kexin is startled. She is very clear about her skills, not to mention a shield. Even if she hides in a heavy tank, it will not help. The commander of the volcano country D city base was killed by the knife gas while hiding in the chariot. Captain, do you want to change the subject of the experiment? You can put a chicken or duck behind the shield. There is no need for a real experiment. 99 Xiao Yu shook his head. Don't worry. Your sword energy still won't kill me, even if you release it. Tang Kexin smiled. Yes, who can kill the captain? Even if his head is in a different place, he can reshape his body. Nothing to worry about. Captain, I'm starting. After Tang Kexin finished speaking, Xiao Yu just nodded calmly. On the contrary, Yikimen on the side was more nervous and very much looking forward to it, because what Xiao Yu wants to test is her skills, which is related to her combat effectiveness test. All the time after Tang Kexin joined the team, Yikimen lost the title of number 1 in melee combat. Although there is no infighting in the team, but my heart is always unhappy. Everyone wants to be the first. The sacred heavy weapon unlocked by this upgrade may have the hope of regaining the throne of the first melee combat. At this time Tang Kexin swung the Tang saber and slashed out a sharp blade, hitting Xiao Yu's shield in an instant. The sword aura that ignored the defense disappeared into the shield and come out. It was weakened by 90%, and there was still a faint energy that hit Xiao Yu's body from the left shoulder to the right abdomen. A long wound was drawn diagonally. Blood spilled. Xiao Yu immediately used the healing technique to restore the wound, and he had an intuitive understanding of Tang Kexin's saber key and Yikimen's sacred weapon. Both are powerful. The defense of the sacred heavy weapon can indeed weaken a knife attack by 90%, but Tang Kexin's saber aura is too strong. Even if it is weakened by 90%, it can still cause great trauma to the body. She only released a wisp of sword energy just now. If he unleashes his saber key vertically and horizontally and slashes out 20 slashes with one slash, even if Xiao Yu resists, the wounds on his body will be densely interlaced like a fishing net. Of course, Xiao Yu just deliberately tested who was stronger and who was weaker. If you really fight, he only needs to release a domineering energy to cover the whole body and form a protective energy similar to the arm color, and he can easily resist the weakened sword energy. 500. Well, the test results are out. Don't be discouraged. Xiao Yu had already seen Yikimen's thoughts, and handed her the newly made heavy knife. Everyone on the team has unique skills. There is no real first. First of all, Yu Xiaojan's stray dance moves have turned into a phantom, and none of you can hide her. 99. It's okay to say she's number 1, right? Yikimen and Tang Kexin both agreed. Indeed, once Yu Xiaojan starts the stray dance steps, everyone becomes empty. Why are you hitting her? The key is she is a phantom, but the knife in her hand, and even the hot weapon, can be real. That is to say, she can attack others, but others cannot attack her. Simply a bug. But no matter how powerful Yu Xiaojan's skills are, her attack power is not as good as yours. So you have to understand, everyone has their own unique abilities and is invincible in their own field, but no one is truly invincible. There was one more sentence Xiao Yu didn't say: except me, because I have the skills of all of you. Okay, we can't rest now. The Red Queen has locked 4 military bases, and a large number of heavy weapons are waiting for us to sweep. After the red, unfold the map. 320, Penglai Naval Base, close up the aircraft carrier battleship. These days, the Red Queen is closely monitoring all parts of the country according to Xiao Yu's instructions, combined with the tips of Gu Weiguo, Zhang Shibei, Liu Hongwei and others. 4 military bases have been identified, and they are all bases that stock up a lot of heavy weapons. One of the bases is in the north, one is in the 2 bases in the south, and one is on Penglai Island. This is a naval base. Xiao Yu decided to use this as the naval headquarters of Yixian. It's time for the Navy to develop to just a few warships. It really doesn't make sense. Anna, your admiralty will be stationed on Penglai Island in the future, and this will become your headquarters. Xiao Yu pointed directly at the map and said on his face was a little embarrassed. Captain, Naval Command, why is it so far away? I think it's not bad to be in Dujiang. Xiao Yu could naturally guess her mind. I don't want to leave Yixian. To be precise, I don't want to leave Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu said earnestly, I have said long ago that the future Navy will have warships, aircraft carriers, and submarines. 99. What do you see now? Indeed, Yizhishan's current warship cannot be called a navy at all. Okay, for patrolling inland rivers it is almost impossible to ride the wind and waves in the sea, or even face sea beasts. The sea beast is not Xiao Yu's guess. Since the chalet people can make out the giant snake lurking in the water, they can certainly make out the deep sea giant beast, so it must be prepared in advance. Anna, I will transfer half of the giant snakes to you to guard the naval command. In addition, the Red Queen has locked the warships and aircraft carriers in the coastal waters. You have to get these things back as soon as possible, and then carry out the level 6 magic modification. As long as the Navy develops, you can come back anytime. Don't forget, the carrier-based aircraft on those aircraft carriers can reach a speed of 1,700 kilometers per hour as long as they undergo a level 6 magic modification. That is to say, it only takes 5 or 6 minutes to fly back to Yizhishan from Penglai Island. Anna's eyes suddenly lit up. Yup, when the time comes, those carrier-based aircraft demons will be changed, and I will come back anytime when I have nothing to do. And himself as Secretary of the Navy at the Penglai Island Naval Base. After mastering a large number of warships and aircraft carriers, the status of Yizhishan will also be unprecedentedly high. Anna realized, in fact, this is Xiao Yu taking care of himself as one of the highest people by her side. The others haven't had this chance yet. She is different from Xiaoran, Tingting and Kexin. Xiaoran stayed in Yizhishan. It was because he knew Xiao Yu before the end of the world. She was Xiao Yu's first woman, and her status was self-evident. Everyone has to give her face. Tingting's contract restoration is a long-distance blessing skill. The entire high-level base area must enjoy her state blessing. Even myself, after coming to Penglai Island, Tingting can also bless herself from a distance from Yizhishan. Therefore, Tingting's status is self-evident. As for Kexin, originally, he was the Minister of Personnel and shouldered extremely important responsibilities, especially now after unlocking spiritual perception. It is like a god peeping. The status of One Finger Mountain is also very high. Only oneself, a title in the Admiralty, has no substantial rights, and will be forgotten in the corner sooner or later. If it continues like this. Anna figured it out all at once. Don't worry, Captain. I will take someone to Penglai Island as soon as possible to take over that military base. Xiao Yu nodded. There is one more important task. After you take over the Penglai Island Naval Base, if you want to establish a base, I will send Xiao Yu there too. You have to take the survivors of Penglai Island in the shortest possible time, and form an army, especially the Navy fighters. Personnel are drawn from the survivors you contain. Anna nodded and said, Don't worry, Captain, I will complete the task. After Xiao Yu arranged Anna and Tabai Nigan and Yi Kishu, the two of you, one is the Air Corps Commander, and the other is the Air Force Minister. Both of you lead highly mobile troops, so the next sweep is up to you. I want to bring back the 4 bases that have been discovered and all the heavy weapons in the shortest possible time. With these weapons, especially missiles, in the future, when a general attack is launched against the chalet people, we can ensure sufficient firepower to know there are nearly 600 bases in the world of the chalet people. That is to say, at least 600 missiles are needed, and they all have to be modified. Red Queen, in addition to searching for military bases in the Eastern Kingdom, keep an eye out for Sam's Empire. 99. Before the end of the world, the country had the most military bases. It's also the easiest way to get heavy weapons. Yes, Master. Important tasks are scheduled. Others take a break, especially the infantry regiments of Tang Qingsu and Yikimen, including the independent regiments of Zhang Shibei and Liu Hongwei. They fought for days. Therefore, in a short period of time, they will not be sent out to kill zombies again. The Red Queen, report the situation on the battlefield in the ancient capital. 35. Good Master. At this moment, a panoramic surveillance screen appeared in front of Xiao Yu. On the screen, the entire ancient capital was littered with corpses, with zombie corpses lying everywhere. In addition, there is a zombie army of 6,000 people, led by the tyrant, is struggling to kill the zombies. This 6,000 strong zombie army, it is the brainwashed puppet of Xiao Yu and Shengwen Kaio. They all wore chain mail, armed with cold weapons, and had been killing zombies in the ancient capital. Master, the zombies in the ancient capital have been killed by 14 million, and 6 million zombies. Once all of them are killed, it means that we have conquered the ancient capital. Heard to conquer the ancient capital, everyone was instantly happy. Killing all the zombies in the ancient capital means that everyone can go back to the ancient capital. Captain, when are we moving back to the city? Xiao Yu shook his head. Not in a hurry for now. So many zombies died. The whole city is full of corpses. Once it rots, it will inevitably cause a plague. Please, we don't care. Ordinary survivors, I am afraid that they will be infected with a plague. Of course, it doesn't matter if you live in the remodeled area all the time, but Xiao Yu is not a welfare home. Ordinary survivors have to go out to work every day, unless the entire ancient capital is remodeled, but 20 million corpses have to be cleaned up. Also a big project after the decay, the pus will flow everywhere, and the whole city will become a rotten hell. And it is estimated that there is no place to go, so Xiao Yu decided to wait. By the summer of next year, the corpses of the zombies will probably be nothing but bones. Time to settle in the city, clean up the skeleton frame. It will be much cleaner. Survivors can move in and repopulate the city. The most important thing for Xiao Yu now is to gather aircraft carriers and warships around the world. It's up to Anna alone. I am afraid that the capacity is limited and it will take a long time. 321. 8 aircraft carriers, 120 warships, all mine. Relatively speaking, aircraft carriers and warships are relatively easy to monitor on the MTC. These large targets have a very high probability of being detected at the resolution of the post-Red 7 host processor. At present, the Red Queen has locked 8 aircraft carriers and more than 120 battleships, block battleships, cruisers and destroyers. By comparison, the number of battleships and cruisers is small. Destroyers are the most because the destroyer has the most comprehensive combat functions. It is responsible for the fleet's air defense, anti-submarine, and escort before the end of the world. Therefore, it has become the main equipment developed by the navies of various countries. The number is also the largest. As for the submarine, the Red Queen has not been found for the time being. It's all underwater. After all, it is estimated that with the outbreak of the end of the world, the soldiers in the submarine have become zombies, and it is estimated that most of the submarines have hit the reef and sank. On the contrary, the warships and aircraft carriers on the water are still safe. Xiao Yu let Anna and Xiao, with the Navy troops, and 500 survivors take the boat first. He himself rested at the base for 2 days after Wu Daking brought people and repaired the first batch of warehouses. He asked Xiaoran to go to each warehouse and place the imprint of the law of time and space. A total of 10 warehouses were built. Each one is square, 10 meters long, wide and high. After being expanded by the imprint of the law of time and space, the internal space is increased by 10,000 times, which is equal to 10 million cubic meters. The materials that can be accommodated are beyond imagination. 510 warehouses are currently sufficient. Xiao Yu put most of the unused space warehouses in the base warehouse. Then Xiao Yu flew a dedicated 4th generation fighter. Due to the level 6 magic change, the speed reached 22,000 km per hour, and it flew to the Penglai Island naval base in less than 5 minutes. At this time, Anna and Xiao have not arrived yet. If they don't carry so many people, they can also come by the magic fighter plane. But since we want to build a base on Penglai Island, naturally, a large number of builders are required in the early stage. This is the reason why Xiao was transferred. She is the Minister of Infrastructure Construction in Yizishan. Currently, the Yizishan base does not need to build city walls and houses for the time being, so first transferred to Penglai Island. Xiao Yu put away the 4th generation magic modified fighter, changed to a magic modified helicopter, and drove the helicopter to Sanhei City for a few laps. Helicopter flying low, the Red Queen can see the zombie branch in the urban area more clearly, as well as the places where there may be survivors until dark. It also allowed Xiao Yu to discover several survivor camps. All are on the outskirts of the city. Every time he arrived at a camp, Xiao Yu would play a loudspeaker and let the survivors go to the naval base, where Yizishan was going to build a sub-basis for. Whether these people will come to defect, then it's not BHCD, his business. Xiao Yu's consistent style is that if you come, I will accept it, and if you don't come, I will not force it but wait for me to conquer the place occupied by zombies. Why do you want to join the base? Either leave, don't try to pick up ready-made ones. The next day, the fleet led by Anna and Xiao arrived at the Penglai Island naval base. Xiao Yu asked everyone to park the warship, then took everyone around the base. Yesterday, I just made a rough observation based on the monitoring provided by the Red Queen, but it was not specific. Xiao Yu led someone to clean up all the zombies in the base. The base infrastructure is found to be perfect. Clean up and live in. There are also 2 docked destroyers, which are estimated to be under maintenance, just in time for the outbreak of the apocalypse. Xiao Yu brought a lot of food and various daily necessities. In terms of life, there is no peace of mind at all. There are 2 biggest problems now. First, there are too few berths in the port to know 8 aircraft carriers and more than 120 warships have been discovered at the berth of the Penglai Island naval base. At most a dozen warships or 3 aircraft carriers can be docked far from enough. Bringing Xiao over, Xiao Yu has already considered this. Xiao, starting today, you will be responsible for collecting building materials and expanding the berths in the harbor. 5 Xiao nodded. After reaching level 3, Her magic design pen unlocks broken corruption, which can directly decompose buildings into raw materials. There are so many skyscrapers in Sanhe City after decomposition, there is a steady stream of building materials. And any harbor can be built. There is a second puzzle: electricity. Yizishan has a nuclear fusion generator set, which can continuously transmit electricity, but Penglai Island did not. Although the base has backup power, it consumes diesel. Xiao Yu didn't intend to waste the diesel in the future. Warships and aircraft carriers will need diesel. Even if the metal hydrogen engine is upgraded, aircraft carriers and warships, such a large tonnage, the amount of diesel required is also a lot, and it is possible to save as much as possible. Anna also realized this. Captain, what about the power problem? Xiao Yu just stopped. Don't worry, I'm still waiting for the news of the Red Queen. It should be soon. Originally, Xiao Yu planned to dismantle the nuclear fusion generator set in Yizishan because Yizishan is not far from the Luhu base. The circuit was connected earlier. The electricity generated by Luxa Lake's base can fully meet the consumption of Yizishan, but the Queen said that she found M City in Country Y, the base of suspected Zilay people. It's just not fully confirmed yet. Need to look again. Xiao Yu is in no hurry to use Yizishan's generator set. If he really finds the Shelley base in M City in Y Country, the generator set at that base can be removed. That's right, Yizishan is currently pretending to be a pig. That's why it was decided not to do anything with those exposed Zilay bases for the time being. But the base in M City is different. The last time a mushroom bomb was bombed, the entire surface of M City seemed to have been scraped by a shovel. This also leads to any abnormality in M City are easily exposed to the surveillance of the Red Queen. This base, far away on the other side of the continent, could not have participated in the Battle of the Dead Sea a few days ago, so even exposed it will never make the Zilay people suspect that Yizishan used the anti-tracking technique with a finger on the mountain. You can just continue to play the pig. At this time, the base of the Shelley people in M City, it used to be the chief of the Hexagon meeting of the Shire people and the headquarters of the Ross family. It is now in ruins. The magic modified mushroom bomb at the entrance of the base exploded a huge gap, and the collapsed area was the size of a basketball arena. Most importantly, the intake and exhaust channels of the base were also blown up by the shockwave. Oxygen throughout the base. You can only enter through the huge gap where the gate collapsed because it could not meet the oxygen demand of nearly 50,000 people. It was not allowed to go down all the time. After discussing with Mark, Roth Connor killed half of the population of the base. This is barely holding up so far, but now there is a huge challenge. Race Connor side. If we continue like this, we will definitely be discovered by Yizishan surveillance. Mark on the side also frowned. Mr. Ross, let the soldiers stand at the collapsed entrance, and whoever dares to rush out will be shot. 99 Roth Connor shook his head. I'm afraid it won't work. Many of those who take the lead in rushing out are warriors, and because they have weapons in their hands, no one dares to stop them. 35 Both felt deeply helpless. Although they solved the problem of oxygen supply to the base, however, the water source of the entire city of M was polluted by nuclear, and the water purifiers could not be completely purified. Some people don't seem to die at the base. It has begun to disregard orders and leave the base. 322 The first time to use the glittering fruit, the blink of an eye is thousands of miles away. Roth Connor was sitting in the office. His expression was no longer the same as before. Once he was the head of the high-ranking Ross family, he is also the chief of the Hexagonal Conference, the most honorable status of the entire Sheila today. The family's direct line base was shattered by a mushroom bomb from Yizishan destruction. At any time there is no clean water source in the early stage. Everyone could stick to the base, but as many people drank the polluted water, it caused radiation in the body. People throughout the base experienced dizziness, fatigue, bleeding, hair loss, diarrhea, vomiting, and other symptoms. At first everyone could bear it, but recently, some seriously polluted people have begun to die one after another. Although not many people died, but this kind of fear, spreading in the base, has become irresistible. The upper floors of the base have been drinking the pure water that they had hoarded in advance. The bottom layer drank nuclear contaminated water every day, and they didn't want to wait to die in the base. So some people began to run outside the base. The nuclear radiation on the ground has long since dissipated. As long as you escape from M City and leave the mushroom bomb explosion area, you can find a clean water source in the whole territory of M City. After being baptized by mushroom eggs, not even a fly could be found. Zombies don't even exist. Therefore, as long as you stay away from this wasteland, there is hope for survival. Mr. Ross 99 The current problem is very serious. If these people are allowed to leave the base, they will definitely be discovered by Yizishan surveillance. We have to stop them, prevent. Roth Connor looked at Mark. He knew that this man could always think of a way at a critical moment. Although these methods are sometimes cruel. Tell me, How can you stop it? Mark sorted out his thoughts and said, now we can't be soft-hearted, it's about the safety of the entire base, so I suggest that the tyrant stay in the collapsed position away from the base. Whoever dares to leave, the tyrant will shoot him indiscriminately. Use your own biochemical warriors to kill your own clansmen. For now there seems to be no better way. Also, cut off all the power supplies on the 5 floors above the base, turning it into pitch black, then send all the lickers in the base. Let the lickers hunt the fleeing ones in the dark. On the 5 floors above the base, many people died due to the severe nuclear radiation at the time. After that, no one lived there anymore. That's an idea. Cut off the power supply of the upper 5 floors. To leave the base, you have to pass through this dark place at that time. Whether it is a tyrant still or licker in the dark, they can kill those who want to escape, and make sure that no one will go out again, so as to avoid being discovered by Yizishin. Okay, let's do this. Wait, Mr. Ross, the result of what we do is to cut off the lives of the vast majority of people. It also means that people at the bottom can only drink contaminated water every day. They will surely rebel. Roth Connor also thought of this. Don't let people leave, only drink contaminated water, and then slowly die, so there will definitely be riots. It's not a big problem. We first let the artificial intelligence cut off the passage below the 20th floor to ensure that no one can go to the nuclear fusion generator room 5. This way, there is no fear of rioters destroying electricity. Then, the area where we live in high-rise buildings is completely closed, and no one is allowed to enter. The upper floors of the base live on the floor where the artificial intelligence main control room is located. Walls and gates are welded in accordance with explosion-proof standards, especially the door. Ordinary blasting methods cannot explode at all. Plus there's artificial intelligence that controls the automatic weapons in the base. Even if someone really wanted to blow up the door, will be shot early. And those chariots, let the artificial intelligence all change the activation password. And can't let the people in the base drive chariots to our floor as long as heavy weapons are lost. The floor of the main control room of the base can be absolutely safe. After making this decision, Roth Connor's heart is also very heavy. He can think that everyone can't go out, especially those at the bottom. Drinking only polluted water every day means waiting to die at that time. Riots will inevitably occur in other areas of the entire base, except for the floor where the main control room is located. The dark side of human nature will be released infinitely. Murder and strong women will permeate the entire foundation, but this is also impossible. At least some of them survive. If the people at the base are allowed to run out, sooner or later, they will be sent by the surveillance of Yizishin, and a missile will come over. At that time the base fusion generator was blown up. The entire base will be destroyed. The most important thing now is to support, until the other families of the Zile people unite and destroy Yizishin, that one can leave the base. Mr. Ross, I'm going home. Roth Connor nodded, but did not speak. His old A series of changes made him lose his fighting spirit and passion. 4 flowers. Now I just want to live. The other side. The Red Queen accidentally discovered that there were human beings in the wasteland of M City. This made her suspicious. There are only 2 outcomes of human activity. First, M City has a nuclear shelter. Now the people from the sanctuary rushed out, ready to leave this wasteland to find a way out. Second, they are the Shirai City. M has a base for the Shelley people, which has long been known. This is also the reason why M City was bombed in the first place. If these are the Shelley people, as long as you observe carefully, you may be able to find someone coming out of the base. Then you can find the location of the base. But unfortunately no new humans appeared on the ruins of M City before. Those people also fled towards places outside the wasteland of M City. They did not return to the base, and it was difficult for the Red Queen to track and find the entrance to the base. 00 But luckily after 2 days of observation, she found a collapsed gap on the outskirts of the original M City. Look, Master. The Red Queen called up the surveillance screen and presented it in front of Xiao Yu. This is the suburb of M City, and I suspect that this collapsed gap is the underground base of the Shelley people. You can send someone to take a look. A smile appeared on Xiao Yu's face. Blowing out such a big gap is basically the underground base of the Zile people. You don't need to send someone, I'll go see it myself. Sending someone else. Xiao Yu is worried. He went to make sure for himself. If it was the base of the Zile people, he could sneak into the main control room as soon as possible, then replace artificial intelligence, then order the air crew to come over and kill all the people in the base. Anna, first assist Xiao Yu to expand the base's harbor and increase the number of berths. I will go to M City in Waya country to see. After speaking, Xiao Yu turned on Li Zunlai's strength acting and turned into the costume of Admiral Kizaru and has 60% of the strength of the yellow monkey. At this time, Xiao Yu not only possessed the devil fruit power of Kizaru, but also possessed various skills of his own. He turned on the shadow dance unlocked by Yu Xiaojin's level 6 skill. The body becomes invisible. Even the satellite surveillance of the Shire people could not see him. Next moment, Xiao Yu flew high into the sky, activating the power of the glittering fruit, thinking that the speed of 180,000 kilometers per second, flew towards the Y country. The ability to move almost instantaneously more than 8,000 kilometers apart in less than a second, Xiao Yu appeared in the sky over country Y, again. 323, the way of heaven is good for reincarnation, who will the heaven forgive? At this time, Xiao Yu had come to the sky above M City in country Y, is in the shadow dance state. It is difficult to see even with the naked eye, but it is just a phantom shadow, which is even more difficult to detect by satellite monitoring. Xiao Yu did this for the purpose it is to get rid of the satellite monitoring of the Chalet people, so as not to be discovered in advance. If there is really a Shire base down there, he can silently replace the artificial intelligence host of the base. Xiao Yu used the power of the glittering fruit again. From an altitude of more than 3,000 meters, he came to the ground in a blink of an eye. Take a long breath. Flying too high is not a good thing either. As a result, at high altitudes, the thinner the oxygen, the more difficult it is to breathe. After read, switch out the positioning map. Yes, master. A panoramic surveillance map appeared in front of Xiao Yu, suspected to be a gap in the Chalet base, 10 kilometers due west. May 17. Xiao Yu aimed at the direction indicated on the map. Once again, the power of the glittering fruit was activated, and if there was a flickering figure, it came to the side of the collapsed gap. Looked down at a glance. The gap was dark, but there seemed to be light in the deeper places. Can't see very clearly because there are a lot of collapsed reinforced concrete. Most of the site is blocked. Maybe this is the reason the Red Queen has never found this gap. Xiao Yu jumped straight down as his body fell. His field of vision also broadened, and Xiao Yu saw the dense lights. Confirmed this must be the base of the Shire people. Although it is larger than the Lurks Lake's base, the style is very similar. And with the fall, Xiao Yu also heard a violent quarrel, as if something happened inside the base. Xiao Yu was a little curious. Then he performed light work and flew from the shaft to a nearby floor. The sign said the 21st floor. A group of Shirai people looked panicked in front of them. What was he saying in his mouth? Xiao Yu couldn't understand foreign bird languages, and he couldn't understand Shirai, but it's not a big problem. After Han Kexin's skill was upgraded to level 6, spiritual perception was unlocked, and no one could keep a secret in front of Xiao Yu. Locked down a Shirai. With the thought of Xiao Yu, spiritual perception was activated, and a large amount of information entered Xiao Yu's mind. The first is the topic of the current quarrel. It turned out that the upper floors of the base had already blocked the way out. From the 5th floor, it was pitch black, also the place of death. Several people who escaped from the base said that starting from the 5th floor, a large number of lickers and tyrants were hidden in the darkness. They will indiscriminately attack those who want to leave. The most important is, Xiao Yu learned from this person's mind that this base was originally the chief of the Hexagon Conference of the Zile people, the headquarters of the Ross family. Just because of a mushroom bomb caused the entire base to finish. Caves abandoned directly by the Chalet people. Here they fend for themselves in order to make the base's oxygen meet the consumption. The patriarch killed half of the people. I thought this was safe. Unexpectedly, there is still a problem. The polluted water source is slowly killing people at the base. Some people don't want to wait to die, so he ran out of the base regardless of the obstacles. After Xiao Yu sorted out the information, he suddenly realized that it was no wonder that the Red Queen was able to find that there were still human activities in the wasteland. It turned out to be the Zile people who rushed out of the base to survive. However, the Red Queen has locked these people, and even if they run out of the base, they will send fighters to kill them. None of the Sheila can live, and Xiao Yu learned from the mind of the Zile that the main control room of the base was on the 8th floor. All base high-rises are also on the 8th floor. This is easy to do. Go directly to the 8th floor, replace the attack at the fastest speed, and then let the Red Queen control the intelligent guard force on the 8th floor to kill all these high-level executives. As for the ordinary Shirai outside, just wait for the air crew to come and clean it up. Xiao Yu soon came to the 8th floor. Since the shadow dance skill was activated, the base was in chaos, and no one noticed the phantom shadows. Xiao Yu also used mental perception to find out the location of the main control room. He rushed over without stopping. In front of him is a heavy metal explosion-proof door. There are two 7.62 heavy machine guns at the door, which should be intelligent shooting and controlled by artificial intelligence. Besides, there are also 4 Shirai in battle uniforms guarding because the explosion-proof door on the 8th floor has been locked. People who are in a mess outside cannot enter the 8th floor at all, plus living supplies are readily available. The vigilance of the 4 guards was also low. He didn't notice Xiao Yu in the phantom state at all. He only felt a faint shadow shake, and he didn't care too much at this time. Xiao Yu had come to the main control room in the shadow dance state. It can pass through any object, and nothing can stop Xiao Yu. A host of artificial intelligence in the main control room is in sight. Different from the Red Queen host, the artificial intelligence host of the Zile people occupies a wall and is assembled by various processors to form a system of intelligent mode. Not like the Red Queen host, it is half the size of a desktop computer host, lightweight, but not simple. Xiao Yu came to the power outlet in the phantom state. He naturally couldn't unplug the power supply, so he revealed his real body. The artificial intelligence just found Xiao Yu, and he didn't have time to act. Snapped. The power was unplugged. Get it done. Xiao Yu immediately took out the artificial intelligence host chip of the Zile people, then plugged the red host into the power supply, then let the Red Queen devour the chip of the Zile host to complete the command and control of the entire base. The whole process takes less than a minute. The Red Queen took control of the Ross family headquarters base. Master, the base is ours now. 99, the Red Queen said happily. Xiao Yu nodded. Lock the explosion-proof gate on the 8th floor, control smart weapons, and kill everyone. Yes, Master. At the same time, Xiao Yu pressed the communication headset. Kainan, leading the air crew, immediately come to M City in Y country. I will ask the Red Queen to send you the coordinates. 5. Your mission is to kill all the Zile people in the base as quickly as possible. Okay, Captain. At this time, Kainan was leading the air crew to clear a military base. After getting Xiao Yu's order, she immediately led 400 Giant Eagle Knights and flew towards the direction of M country. The speed of the Giant Eagle is 3,600 kilometers per hour. It took about 2.5 hours to arrive at M City, and the speed of the magic modified fighter was much faster, but the number of fighters is too small. 2.3 is obviously not enough for transporting soldiers. Xiao Yu plans to modify a few passenger planes when he is done with the work here. It's time to deploy troops from a distance. Can be pulled over with a fighter jet. The speed may still not be as fast as the fighter, but it should be much faster than the Giant Eagle. At this time, the Red Queen has already controlled the automatic weapons of the base, and began to indiscriminately slaughter the top Zile people on the 8th floor. Xiao Yu did not go out. He will be in the main control room in case someone rushes in. It will be troublesome to destroy the mainframe line. Looking at the surveillance screen, the senior Zile people were shot to death by a heavy machine gun without any precautions. Xiao Yu felt extremely relieved. Maid, let you release the T-virus and destroy the world. It is really good reincarnation. Who the heaven will forgive? Xiao Yu began to switch the surveillance screen. He wanted to see where the supreme ruler of the base, Ross Connor, G. 324, the death of Roth Connor. The nuclear fusion generator is in hand. The 8th floor, to which the main control room of the base belongs. At this time, all the automatic weapons began to shoot and kill the senior members of the Ross family indiscriminately. A weapon usually used to protect the base's security. At this moment, it has become the butcher's knife to harvest their lives. Roth Connor and Mark hid in a miscellaneous warehouse without smart weapons installed. After the door was locked, the two are safe for now. C2, come out immediately. 55. C2, please answer when you hear it. Roth Connor roared for the artificial intelligence, and the empty warehouse echoed his roar. But unfortunately, the artificial intelligence that usually appeared in front of him when he called did not respond at this moment. Damn it, what the hell happened? The smart weapon is controlled by C2, and now it shoots people in the base indiscriminately. It must be C2's mutiny. 99 shouldn't. It shouldn't. Roth Connor could not understand how artificial intelligence is the technology provided by the Holy Lord. There is no risk of mutiny. Mark on the side couldn't understand. Okay, why all the guns were suddenly aimed at his own people if it weren't for running fast with Roth Connor nowadays also shot into receive. Mr. Ross, the only way we can now is to go into the main control room and unplug it. 55 is the only way to stop C2. Everyone understands the truth, but now no one can get close to the main control room, or even appear in the corridor, and they will be shot and killed by the weapons in the dark grid. Even if the power switch on the 8th floor of the base was pulled down, also to no avail because the AI controls the entire base, it is impossible to have no backup power at this time. Roth Connor was suddenly surprised. A creepy guess was born. Could it be that the artificial intelligence of our base has been replaced? The reason for this speculation, it was because he had passed through the Luhu base and passed the surveillance screen, and saw that Xiao Yu had replaced the artificial intelligence host of the base. One Finger Mountain has artificial intelligence technology, and can replace the mainframe of our Chile base. Could it be that the man has infiltrated our base? Only this guess seems to work. Otherwise, how to explain C2's betrayal? Even C2 didn't show up. It's probably dead, and it's another artificial intelligence that currently controls these weapons. Fuck. Roth Connor scolded irritably. Even if he guessed what happened at the current base, There was nothing he could do to change the status quo at this time. There was a sudden loud noise from the big iron gate of the grocery warehouse. It's like being hit by gravity from the outside. Roth, Connor and Mark were so frightened by this powerful impact that their hair exploded. The two realized one thing almost at the same time. If C2 is indeed replaced, another AI that controls the base could unlock the vehicle's activation code. You can even call all the biochemical warriors. What could be knocking on the door? A chariot or a tyrant? Mark muttered to himself in horror. And at this moment he finally realized the fear of imminent death originally. In order to meet the oxygen demand of the base, he did not hesitate to propose to kill half of the population of the base today. It is proposed to let the biochemical warriors guard the exit, and let the middle and lower level Zilay people wait to die in the base. Every decision he makes, all of them sacrifice a large number of the same kind in exchange for their own chances of survival, but did not expect you will also face the threat of death. Roth Connor was better, after all. He used to be the person in charge of the family and the chief of the Hexagonal Council. Even after a series of setbacks, the whole person became decadent, but the quality of the heart is still there. He came to the camera in the warehouse and stared straight at the infrared light. I know you're watching the surveillance. 99. I know you have infiltrated my base. 55. You really surprised me. You are so powerful. I admit it. At this moment, the faith in Roth Connor's heart was shaken. Holy Lord, Supreme, All-Knowing and Almighty Lord, where are you now? If you are truly omniscient, why didn't you show up to save your devout believers? If you don't come and save me, it means that you are not omniscient and omnipotent. So why do you still believe in you? Roth Connor even regretted it a little. A lifetime of faith, following the guidance of the Holy Scriptures, and launching a world annihilation plan. It ended up like this, but the Holy Master abandoned his family without hesitation. God is ruthless. This concept comes from the Eastern Kingdom. At this moment, Roth Connor has a deep understanding. He had always felt that only pagan gods were indifferent, but now it seemed that all gods were the same. At this time the roar of heavy machine guns sounded outside the door. The big iron gate of the Sundries warehouse was blasted open by dense bullets, and a behemoth walked in with heavy steps. Tyrant. The figure was all too familiar. Tall, stocky, covered in metal armor, exuding cruelty without a trace of emotion. Roth Connor and Mark's pupils were locked in an instant. The Vulcan heavy machine gun in the hands of the tyrant opened fire. The dense rain of bullets poured over, smashing the bodies of the two into a sieve, and then smashed them into pieces. Former chief of the Hexagon Conference of the Shire, the planner of Zilay People's Star Network, both died in this grocery warehouse in front of the surveillance screen in the main control room. Xiao Yu showed a satisfied smile. This tyrant was transferred by the Red Queen. Actually, Xiao Yu doesn't know Roth Connor and Mark, but there are photos of them in the database. The Red Queen quietly took over the entire base, so the database is also complete. The information of these people has not had time to delete, and the Red Queen has precisely locked the two people according to the information. 55. Now the number 1 at the base and number 2 and 517 are dead. 35. We don't have to worry about it. Next, it didn't take long. The 400 air crew led by Kai and Nigan arrived, and the riders jumped off the back of the giant eagle, switched out of the magic heavy machine, and entered the mecha transformation mode. 400 mechas holding heavy swords. One by one, they jumped from the collapsed gap, temporarily massacred the Shire people in the base. There are Red Queen guidelines. Even those who hide in the corners are not spared. At the same time, in the Air Force Department of Yizishan, 2 4th-generation magic modified fighter jets took off and rushed Torm City and Country Y at the fastest speed. Their goal was to pursue the Shire, who had fled earlier. These people have long been locked by the Red Queen according to Xiao Yu's instructions. The Zilay people must not leave. Any alive must be killed off. Captain, here I come. Kai and Nigan stood outside the door of the main control room. Xiao Yu came out and said, Kai and Nigan, you take someone to guard the main control room, and I'll go to the room of the generator set on the ground floor. Good, Captain. Xiao Yu came to the fence of the shaft, and then jumped down with a light effort, and soon landed at the bottom. There is almost no oxygen here. He quickly put on the oxygen cylinder. Soon they found the warehouse of the nuclear fusion generator set, and the purpose of this time was for these things all dismantled and moved away because of the previous experience. This time I am familiar with the road. A huge piece of equipment was moved into the space warehouse by Xiao Yu. 325. Preparation for global evolution, tentative attack. After removing all the nuclear fusion generator sets, Xiao Yu took his own transfer and left the ruins of M City. The next work can be left to Kai and Nigan. Nothing important. Kill all the Zilay people in the base, and you can withdraw to Yizishan. Although it is said that this time it was quietly taking over the Ross family base, but there was no expected gain in the database. There is no more useful information recorded, such as biochemical warrior manufacturing information, not to mention the genetic code given by the lizardmen. Since the lizardmen gave up Ross Connor, The entire Hillay people also realized that Ross Connor's base was easily exposed. In particular, the base of City D of Volcano Country was destroyed. It is awake. Up call for the Hill people. Therefore, in Roth Connor's base database, only some simple information was left. Xiao Yu didn't feel pity either. In his eyes, the filthy monster-making skills of the Shirai people were still unacceptable to him. He just hopes that his Hillay people will develop more powerful monsters sooner. The 4th-generation magic fighter jet flew to Penglay Island at a speed of 22,000 kilometers per hour. Xiao Yu stepped off the fighter plane at this time. Xiao Yu has used the magic design pen to redesign and expand the entire naval base harbor. Anna has already directed the laborers she brought and started to get busy. Captain, are you back? 5 Yes, the generator set has been obtained, and your base will not have to worry about electricity in the future. 99 By the way, what about Xiao Yu? She went to collect building materials. We didn't bring much, so we had to prepare some in advance. Xiao Yu's magic design pen has the ability to transform corruption into wonders. Buildings can be directly decomposed into raw materials. Stock up on some ahead of time. The expansion of the harbor of the naval base requires a lot of reinforced concrete, including the reconstruction of the base wall, and also requires a lot of building materials. Captain, go over there. There is no one there. What are you going there for? I don't think I can go back to Yizishan during this period of time, so I have to hurry up to build a naval base. 35 Every night I miss you and the future will be full of moisture. 35 Xiao Yu suddenly laughed. What is this? Do you drain the water in advance? The other side. The Shiraixa meeting is on again. The new chief officer, Morgan Friend, was presiding over the meeting, and he was broadcasting the surveillance footage of the Yizishan air crew flying to M City in Waya country. Of course the picture is just a masked mosaic because following the air crew, there is also a 3rd-generation semi-modified fighter, which can shield a range of 10 kilometers in diameter. After connecting with the signal of the Red Rear host, the 400 giant eagles are all within the shielded area. Therefore, the monitoring of the Hillay people is not sure what flew to the M City, everyone. According to our analysis, it should have been Yizishan who discovered Mr. Risconner's base and sent the Air Force there. Now that force has left, it also means that Roth Connor's base has been bloodbathed, even if there is no surveillance video inside the base. But Morgan could have imagined that, in the style of Yizishan, Risconner's base must have been slaughtered. Now there is a question, why didn't this base initiate a self-destruction program? A consensus has been reached since the Hillay base was continuously destroyed and occupied by Yizishan. Once invaded by Yizishan, destroy the base immediately anyway. Yizishan will not leave a living hole. It is better to destroy yourself. Might be able to perish together. The self-destruction program of the base is already in the artificial intelligence mainframe of each base. Even if Mr. Ross has not issued an order, once the base loses resistance, artificial intelligence automatically activates the self-destruct program. Mr. Ross' base, without self-destruction, can only have one outcome. The 5 families looked at Morgan together. Some of them had already guessed the reason, but were reluctant to say it because it was a terrifying answer. One Finger Mountain can silently destroy the artificial intelligence of the base, Morgan said in a determined tone. Only this answer can explain the problem. However, he still underestimated Hishan not to silently destroy the base AI host, but to replace it. Everyone could not help but feel deeply helpless once discovered by Yizishan. He cannot even self-destruct the base. Everyone, the problem is very serious now. We tried to proactively expose a base, lure the man into the base, and then self-destruct to kill him. 35 It now appears that this plan has fallen through. Although Morgan did not know how Xiao Yu destroyed the base host, but he will automatically make up for it because Xiao Yu showed incredible strength when he occupied the Luhu base and destroyed the Volcano Country D City base. Even in the hearts of the hills only the Holy Master has such strength. Therefore, they believed that it was not impossible that Xiao Yu could silently destroy a base host. 66 The enemy we face now is a powerful one. The Pandora virus given to us by the Holy Lord has now been replicated by various bases. 39 Perhaps only this virus can fight Yizishan. The question is, how do we stand firm in this new virus evolution? Pandora given by the Lord to the Shiraites. It is an indiscriminate, globally evolving virus creatures with more than base intelligence. The power of evolution is stronger. The Hillay people were excluded from the evolutionary category because they were vaccinated against the original strain of T virus before the end of the world. This also means that they were abandoned by the Holy Lord. Morgan and the people of the 5 families are aware of this, but no one dared to rebel against the Lord. Call. Morgan sighed, enduring the endless anger and unwillingness in his heart. Even if the faith has been shaken at this moment, can only continue to work for the Holy Master. We have discussed at the last hexagonal meeting to determine whether Yi, Li Dezhao, Zhishan has the ability to track low-frequency biological signals. 5. The Battle of the Dead Sea is now over. Zhishan did not attack the base participating in this battle, so it can be judged that they do not have anti-tracking capabilities. What we do now is determine Zhishan, how to lock the stealth biochemical warrior we made. Only in this way, only in the next great evolution can we find a way for the Zile people to gain a foothold in the view of the hill people. One Finger Mountain is their biggest enemy, and they have long been enmity, and they cannot be resolved if you blindly make biochemical warriors. I don't know if I will follow the clues and find the base of the Zile people. Therefore, it is necessary to find out how Zhishan discovered a stealth biochemical warrior. Mr. Morgan, 55. We will send a group of biochemical warriors from each family to test the range of Yizi Mountain. Always get the answers we want. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.